is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Florida.
Miami, Phoenix, opposites collide tonight. The road trip out west was sweet for the fish. The Marlins won 7 of 8, and Giancarlo Stanton is hot. That means strap in, kids. No matter what uniform he's wearing, Paul Goldschmidt can flat out hit. The Diamondbacks are here for 3, Miami and Arizona. In Miami, it's good to be home for the fish. The Diamondbacks arrive. This opens a 9-game homestand with a 3-gamer. Terrific trip out west for the Marlins. Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz along with Preston Wilson. All right, Preston. Miami has won 7 of their last 8, but all of those were on the road. How do they push that here and win at home?
I think it's going to start with the pitching. The earlier homestand, Marlins did not get off to a good job on the mound. I think Nicolino is going to set the pace for the lineup tonight. Slow down the Snakes early, get the fish on the board quickly.
If you look at Miami's offense and the lineup, certainly there are guys all over that have had great road trips and are on a nice run. 3 in particular, let's look at. Let's start with Christian Yelich, who seems so comfortable in the 3 spot.
Maybe one of the best pure swings going in the game right now. Everybody the Marlins play against marvel at how good he is in the batter's box. His plate discipline, his plate coverage, and the way he hits the ball all over the field.
Martin Prado just hits and hits and hits.
Consummate professional, everything that he does. Tell you what, this new proud dad is on the street. Maybe we can get the Prado family to have a baby every few months.
Giancarlo Stanton, everything seemed to fall in place when he homered in San Francisco on that Sunday.
Once he got going, he hasn't stopped yet, and you can see the calm in his body language, the way he carries himself now. He looks like a man on a mission.
But your point about Nicolino is a good one. For the Marlins on this run, the starting pitching has been terrific, and the bullpen has been outstanding. And Nicolino obviously was part of that. How does he duplicate his terrific outing in Los Angeles?
Here's the key: continue to do what he's done, and that's be a pitcher. He's done a great job at locating the ball. He's been fearless going in on batters when he's had to, and he's also been doing a little game that professionals do. They add, subtract with the fastball, add, subtract with the soft stuff. He kept the Dodgers hit it off balance. I look for him to do that again tonight.
He's up against pretty good lefty and Patrick Corbin for the Snakes. A day off. It's rare in Major League Baseball. Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine will explain as the Marlins and the Diamondbacks are moments away. And Marlins, let's head out to center field. Jeff Conine, Craig Minervini. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Rich. The off day welcomed by the Marlins no matter what their record was. But coming off 7 straight wins and then 7 out of 8 on the road trip, overall 7-3, had to make that day a little more special.
Well, after a 10-day road trip, especially to the West Coast where you're traveling a lot, San Francisco, LA, Milwaukee. They got into Milwaukee about 4 o'clock in the morning, ended up playing that same night. To have an off day after all that is players are especially grateful for that off day.
The Marlins are one of only 4 teams, Jeff, with 10 wins on the road. Here's the problem. They're just 2-7 in their 9 home games, and as Justin Bohr talked with me about, got to turn that around here at Marlins Park.
You said it. Got to win at home. You know, we've been playing better on the road than we have at home, but you know, it's early in the season, and I'm sure by the end it'll be even. So just got to go out there and you know, play hard and continue this momentum that we had on the road trip.
We have a good club, and we're capable of playing, you know, high energy baseball, competitive ball. We're led by a great group, and I think we're going to be able to do some really good things down the stretch here, and we're going to have a good season.
Obviously, anytime you put wins up like that, your confidence kind of grows. And I've said it from the beginning. I felt like this group is pretty confident, you know, in their thinking and their belief in themselves, and they kind of proved it, you know, this last trip.
Well, the offense has hit 45 points less at home than their major league leading 293 on the road. How do they hit better at home?
They're obviously not getting very good home cooking, as we call it at home. The cooking needs to get better. Better food here at home, because you want to get your majority of your wins at home, play 500 baseball on the road, and that makes a winning season.
Home should be sweet. Home sweet home.
Home sweet home.
That's what they say. Well, the Diamondbacks have the same problem. They're 7-3 on the road and 5-12 at home. We'll see what gives here. Marlins are happy to be back off the day off and now getting ready for baseball against Arizona next on Fox Sports Flow.
Sports Florida is brought to you by Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. By your local Toyota dealers, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Great time-lapse shot. Clouds in and around Miami. Marlins arriving on the field. Diamondbacks and Marlins, it's a 3-gamer. And the lineup for Arizona, brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine, Preston Wilson.
Leading off second baseman Phil Goslin. Second, the rookie Brandon Drury. Paul Goldschmidt, the hitter of all hitters, is in third. Ricky Weeks is at fourth. Yasmani Tomas is batting fifth. Wellington Castillo is sixth. Chris Owens seventh. Nick Ahmed eighth. And Patrick Corbin, the lefty, is on ninth.
Lefties on the menu tonight. Justin Nicolino makes start number 2. Those are the AAA numbers on the left. Nicolino had a real nice spring. Adam Conley just flat out pitched him for that spot in the rotation. Conley has continued to pitch well, but when called upon, Nicolino was brilliant in Los Angeles. Into the 8th inning he went, 99 pitches, 2 hits, did not give up a run, and Miami beat the Dodgers 2-0. Defensively, the Fish. That's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. A little bit of a change in the infield. Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton in the outfield. Chris Johnson getting the start at first, and Miguel Rojas is at second. And in the Echeverria, Martin Prado on the left side. JT Realmuto, who not only is catching, but also leading off for the Fish, but we'll get to that in the bottom of the first. For now, it's Nicolino, and climbing in is Phil Goslin. Gene Segura out with a sore hip for the Diamondbacks. So it's Goslin who gets the start and takes the strike. Brandon Drury, who's red hot, and Paul Goldschmidt. Those are the first 3 out of the chute for Chip Hale and the Diamondbacks. Goslin in the air, center field, right around where Beyonce was, and it's caught there by Marcell Ozuna. Yes, Beyonce was in concert while the Marlins were on the road trip. The outfield has been resodded, and it looks good from up here. It is still a work in progress, but I think having all those people in here just, what, 4 days ago, to get the outfield looking like it has right now is a credit. Having seen what other concerts do to other places, Wrigley Field, Fenway Park, AT&T in San Francisco. Here's Brandon Drury, and Drury takes down low. Drury, the third baseman, a homegrown, well, somewhat homegrown. He did come over in that Atlanta trade, but he was really young when that happened, and his name was off the radar. But right now, all of a sudden, he has emerged. He's 23, out of Grants Pass, Oregon. Played parts of 6 years in the minor leagues before getting to the big leagues late last year. Right-handed bat, and he's got some pop.
And he's at the top of the leader rookie board in almost everything. Second in batting average, second in home runs, second with RBIs of 14, 8 multi-hit games.
Right center field. Stanton is after it. Giancarlo is there, and he makes the catch. Very different hitters environment here in Miami as opposed to Arizona. Nicolino using the big part of the ballpark.
Well, this is one time where the ballpark definitely makes a difference. There's a lot of other ballparks where this ball would have been closer to the wall, if not at the wall. Stanton's able to run it down relatively easily.
Now Goldschmidt. And Nicolino, just as he did in Los Angeles, is pounding the strike zone early. Goldschmidt, the face of the franchise, coming off a outstanding year. He was runner-up in the MVP last year, and he always seems to hurt the Fish. Count 0-2.
Good signs from Nicolino tonight. Pounding the strike zone, getting ahead early, going away and into Goldschmidt. I like what I'm seeing.
Good changeup, and Nicolino captures it and gets the out. How about that? 9-pitch first inning. Preston Wilson said the starting pitcher has to set the tone. That tone has been set Nice change in the Marlins lineup. A wrinkle at the top. It's brought to you by UHealth Sports Medicine. Preston.
JT Realmuto leading off as a catcher. How about that? Martin Prado batting second, Christian Yelich in third, Giancarlo Stanton round out the top four, Marcelo Zuna, Chris Johnson, Adani Echeverria 5, 6, 7. Miguel Rojas is 8, and Nicolino with that nice first inning. He's batting 9.
JT Realmuto in the leadoff spot. He's facing Patrick Corbin. Corbin, the 26-year-old who had Tommy John surgery in 2014. Pitched half a season last year, 16 starts. He's had some good starts and some not so good starts. And the lefty misses low with a fastball. Syracuse, New York. Chipola Junior College in Marianna, Florida, where he was a standout there and a second-round pick by the Angels in 2009. All right, Mr. Realmuto in the leadoff spot. 7-game hit streak, 15 hits in those 7 games. And he pops this one first base side and out of play. And talked to Don Mattingly about it, and he said, look, going through his lineup, Corbin eats lefties alive, so Derek Dietrich's not going to get a start. Justin Bour's not going to get a start. And Dietrich obviously has been in that leadoff spot. There's no Ichiro, so he just looked at his lineup and he felt the way Realmuto's swinging the bat, the fact that he runs pretty well, slotted him in the leadoff spot. He cracks one to left, deep and on a line. That one's off the wall. Realmuto around first, throw coming in, and he's in there with a double.
That'll get the leadoff thing going.
My goodness.
That's an absolute missile off the wall. Oh, this ball ends up just on the inner third. He drops the head on it and hits a rocket over the left fielder's head, hits off the base, and that's an absolute double in this ballpark.
Realmuto, if you think about this, started that road trip. Remember the Marlins were in San Francisco? Realmuto was hitting .205 in that first game, and he went 0 for 4, so he was under 200 on the road trip. And with that base hit, he's at .321. Strike to Martin Prado, a former Diamondback. As we talked about, he was involved in that big trade that brought names like Delgado and Drury and Ahmed, along with Prado from Atlanta. Justin Upton, the big piece that went from Arizona to the Braves. And Corbin comes in and misses.
Yeah, Corbin can pump it up a little bit. That registered at 93 in the stadium here. Good, nice live fastball. Working the inside half, trying to keep Prado from getting that ball over to the second base side of the field to move the runner over.
Well, before his elbow injury, he was a National League All-Star back in 2013. Prado center field. That one is going to fall for a hit. Realmuto a late start. Stops at third. Had to wait to see if it would fall. And Prado's got a single. Realmuto.
That's just not a very good read on that ball from Realmuto. You got to know that that center fielder's playing over on the right field side of the ball. The ball should be independent from the fielder. You need to know where the fielder is before the ball is hit. Then when the ball is hit, you can judge about where it's going to land. And in your mind, you should be able to tell within a split second whether he's going to get to it or not. Got to have a little bit of better read than that, but good job of hitting by Prado, staying up the middle.
My goodness, Realmuto and Prado both extend hitting streaks to 8 games. Prado has 18 hits in those 8 games. And here is Yelich now with Stanton on deck. This is going to be a fun matchup to watch. Left-handed hitters against Corbin this year are hitting just .167. But the leading hitter in the National League against lefties, you are looking at it. Christian Yelich. Breaking ball, he swings and misses. Now, not a ton of at-bats, but Yelich is 7 for 13 with a double against lefties. Yes, we have emails and tweets. We'll get those launched here in a bit. The Marlins have opened the first against Patrick Corbin with a double by Realmuto, a single by Prado. At the corners, The 1-1 to Yelich is down low. Stanton watching. Yelich waiting. Good sharp breaking ball, and Yelich has missed both of them.
I see a good tight spin on that. Ball just dips under the barrel. Yelich is close to it, but he does a good job of taking enough off of it that he can't stay on it. That was only at 80 miles an hour.
Corbin on the road has been outstanding. He's been knocked around at home. His home ERA is 7.23 in 3 starts, and on the road in 2 starts 1.42. So that's a huge difference. Chip Hale, a former standout and a national champion at the University of Arizona, big leaguer with the Twins. Second year as manager of the Diamondbacks. Very aggressive manager. Full count. Yelich over the middle. Nice backhand stop there. Ahmed gets an out. Yelich gets an RBI. Diamondbacks very good up the middle with Ahmed. And there's one down. 1-0 Fish. Southwest Airlines brings you Diamondbacks defense. Ricky Weeks finds himself in left. Chris Owings in center. Yasmani Tomas, the big Cuban, in right. Brandon Drury, Paul Goldschmidt, Nick Ahmed going to his left. He and Phil Goslin are up the middle. Wellington Castillo is the catcher. Here's Stanton now. Ahmed and Goslin are shifted, but not dramatically. And a fastball misses.
That play up the middle by Ahmed. I spoke to Tony La Russa, and he feels like this ball club is as athletic up the middle as you get in the major leagues with Ahmed, Owens, and you add in Segura, Pollock, who's hurt right now, that would be playing center field. Goslin, it's unbelievable the athleticism they have up the middle.
We often cite the Fielding Bible for their individual awards, but the folks at the Fielding Bible also rank defenses on different metrics, and the Diamondbacks, according to those guys, were the best defense in all of baseball last year. So you and Tony and the Fielding Bible are all on the same page.
I mean, this is a defense that a couple years ago had Geraldo Parra as a Gold Glover. They believe that Pollock could be a Gold Glover.
Ender Inciarte.
Inciarte was here, but they had some great talent, and they just keep getting more out there in the outfield, especially up the middle.
Stanton waiting, counts 1-1. Yelich at first. A 1-0 start. And Stanton takes in. All right, Giancarlo, 7 straight, 5 homers in those 7 games. His slugging percentage is up to .566 with the 8 homers. As you'll notice with the lefty, he does not wear that half face mask. Into the bat. Corbin has it, fires to second, out there. Stanton is safe at first. And that'll get Ozuna in the bat here with 2 outs.
Corbin did a good job by buying himself that pitch. He went in early, and then he went away late. Take a look at Patrick Corbin there. Baseball's second pick. Well, second choice. He was a basketball stud in high school. Mostly sinkers, will move the ball in and out, does have a good breaking ball against lefties, had Tommy John surgery in 2014, so he's coming back from that.
Yeah, if you've got your laptop or your tablet out, you can YouTube Patrick Corbin and 360, and you'll get a 360 dunk because he was a terrific high school and played 1 year of junior college basketball. Here's Ozuna now, and Marcel takes a strike. Ozuna starting to walk a lot more. He has 8 walks already, and he did that on the road trip with success.
have to say this because all pitchers always get rattled when we say they're not athletes. And honestly, some of them aren't. If they didn't have the arm they threw the baseball with, they'd be in another profession. This guy's an athlete. He moves well. He can leap off out of the gym if you watch that video. So it's fun to be able to, give him some credit for being athletes. Me being a position player, we used to give him a little grief.
Yeah, listen to you. Very nicely done. I know you had to really bite your tongue while you did that. Here's the 0-2. Ozuna check swing. Did he go? Yes. First base umpire Greg Gibson says swing. Inning over, but Miami's on the board early. How about JT Realmuto in that leadoff spot? We got emails and tweets coming up.
A 1-0 early lead. Well, it is a Twitter and email Tuesday driven by Ford. And Marlins fans, we want to hear from you, so be sure to get those tweets and emails in. Your tweets can go to @FoxMarlins. Your emails can go to foxmarlins@gmail.com. And for tonight's special hashtag, we're going classic. We want you to use Twitter Tuesday on all of your comments and questions. And hey, you could make the broadcast. Guys?
Very nice. Thank you, Jessica. All right, emails and tweets ready to go. Locked and loaded. Diamondbacks in the second. Ricky Weeks, Yasmani Tomas, and Wellington Castillo. And Justin Nicolino deals. First pitch swinging. Weeks. Look out, Jessica. You all right? John,
thumbs up.
What's John Tui, our cameraman, doing there? I mean, come on, Tui. You got to be a team player.
I think he kept me safe on that one, or did he jump out of the way?
I saw
Look
it move
at
a
that
little
face.
bit.
I did not see that one coming. I will keep a much more attentive eye from here on out.
All right, just stay safe. Stay behind Tui. He's been hit many times and is absorbs a lot of punishment down there. Counts 0-2. Nicolino working on Weeks. Weeks, who's trying to revive his career after a disastrous year last year in Seattle, where he was released midway through. He hit just 167. Of course, this is a guy that was an all-star. In fact, a starter in 2011 in the all-star game. 11 years with the Milwaukee Brewers. He is 33 years old now. And you got two guys from Orlando dueling with Nicolino and Weeks. So how about that?
Yeah, Arizona has two of the better middle infielders that the Milwaukee Brewers have had in the last 10-15 years. In Weeks and Segura.
Line foul down into the corner. All right, time for our first email. And all right, for you, Preston Wilson. It's from Cool Daddy. When was the last time the Marlins had a catcher bat leadoff? Now, we saw CJ, Charles Johnson's here tonight. He caught the first pitch. Realmuto a double and a run scored. That one is smoked into center field. Weeks had some really good swings in that at bat.
Well, Cool Daddy, I hate to disappoint you, but the Marlins have never had a catcher hit leadoff. And ex-Marlin catchers hit leadoff before. Pudge hit leadoff for the Detroit Tigers. And CJ is leading off on some appetizers, looks like, out there.
Yeah, he is. Out in the Cleveland, it's a good seat out there. So this is the first time the Marlins have ever had a catcher hit leadoff. And that got us to thinking. John Chimchuk is our baseball historian. How about other catchers in baseball that have led off? This is Yasmani Tomas, the thick Cuban, very strong 25-year-old. Tomas takes outside, 5 homers, 13 driven in. He's got 7 doubles. Great power to center and to right center. .6'2", 250.
There's certain characteristics of some hitters that tell you where they're from. When you look at some of the Japanese guys, they have the Sadahara old kind of leg kick, one-arm extension. With the Cuban guys, they got the bat tucked around the shoulder level with the head pointed a little bit at the pitcher, kind of like a Tomas Abreu from Chicago.
Runner goes, big jump, and it's fouled off. It's 2-1.
There's a lot of those guys that kind of have that same look.
And
Jorge Toca, that used to play with the Mets.
Having watched Tomas internationally, like a lot of those right-handed Cuban bats, hitting the ball out at right center is no problem for him. And that's, you know, internationally, that's where he really shined in that 2013 WBC. He didn't have a lot of games down in Cuba. 5 years, he played in 291 games. Little dribbler, and it's foul. And so when the Diamondbacks shelled out big money for Tomas, it was somewhat of a gamble, hoping that his numbers in Cuba would translate, and so far, so good.
This is definitely one of those guys Nicolino has to make aware of the ball inside to get him off of that outside part of the plate, because like you said, he's very dangerous on the right field side of the field.
2-2 from Nicolino. And he steps off. Justin, for whatever reason, it's not a huge sample size, but in 6 career starts in this ballpark, his ERA is just under 5. On the road, 7 starts, 5-1, a 2.70 ERA. But you would think for Nicolino this would be a good place to pitch.
You know, I think we're going to see a different Nicolino this time around. I think mentally he's a little bit different.
Working against Tomas, Weeks at first. 2-2. And it's up, and remember, Weeks was running earlier in the at-bat, so the chance that he's running 3-2 increase. Wellington Castillo is on deck. Nicolino went 1-2-3 in the first. Not running. Pitch is out. And the Diamondbacks have something going right now. Game 1 of a 3-game set tomorrow night. Kids eat free on a Kids Eat Free Wednesday, 7:10. Children 12 and under with a ticket get a coupon for a free KMB Frank, bag of Frito-Lay chips, and a small Pepsi or Aquafina water. Get your tickets at marlins.com. Here now is Castillo. Wellington Castillo is off to a nice start with 6 home runs already. Castillo popped 17 home runs last year with the Diamondbacks. For whatever reason, once he got to the Diamondbacks last year, his bat really turned on. Slugged right around 500. He led all National League catchers in home runs last year with 18 total. Pickoff throw, and Weeks is back in. Miguel Rojas dancing behind them. Think about catchers who have led off. We had that tweet about the Marlins ever having one. They have never had a catcher lead off. Think about some in history. because the list is not long. That one smoked into left field. Yelich approaches it. Weeks was holding. And just like that, Arizona has them loaded up with the bottom third of their order coming up. And the swings have gotten a lot better against Nicolino here in the second.
Definitely got to get his location a little bit better. But he's still in a situation where he can minimize his damage, get himself a double play ball right here, even a strikeout, and then he can really minimize it by possibly getting a double play ball after that.
Chris Owings is the hitter. Owings is not homered this year, but he's got 3 doubles and a couple of triples. And Juan Nieves is on his way out. All right, catchers that have led off. The guy that comes to mind first is a Pittsburgh Pirate.
Jason Kendall, definitely.
Jason Kendall, 452 games at the leadoff spot. How about modern day? Kurt Suzuki.
Kurt Suzuki, that's a good one, yes.
Kurt Suzuki, 24 games for Oakland in 08. Russell Martin for the Dodgers in 08 and in 10. 19 games in 08, 18 times in 2010. Pudge actually led off for Detroit.
I remember seeing him lead off a few games in Detroit.
A dozen games.
There's one on this list that I remember from when I was younger. I actually was in the stadium and I watched it happen.
Big swing by Owens.
Craig Biggio.
That's right. Biggio 34 times in the leadoff spot.
That was a long time ago.
And rounding out our group, Butch Weiniger long ago. John Jaso in Tampa Bay, 39 leadoff at bats. So there you are. Bags are loaded. Nicolino working on Owings, who lines it foul. And it's 0-2. Now Nicolino is not a strikeout pitcher. In his 7 1/3 of shutout ball at Dodger Stadium, he punched out just 2. Juan Nieves, Don Mattingly, a Diamondback at every base with nobody out in the second. One and 2.
Tell you why I remember Craig Biggio being a leadoff hitter, because I was in the stadium watching my dad play in 1988. He got a little time as a leadoff hitter.
Yeah, he was
still catching back then.
Athletic a catcher as you'll find. 1-2. Broken bat, little pop. Rojas out, Stanton in. It falls on a hop. Stanton's throw to second is in time to get the out. That's a terrific play by Stanton to at least get one out. That was Castillo, who is staying at second. The Diamondbacks are looking at the replay. Here's our first look. Game's tied 1-1.
I think he got him and looked at that lead leg for Castillo was up in the air and did not quite get on the base. If he slides a la Ichiro and get that front foot down early, he may be safe there, but it looked like he didn't quite get down on the bag in time. Good quick decision by Stanton though. Nice throw. Good stretch by Echeverria. I think he got him.
Yeah, from that angle you can't really tell, and if you're the Diamondbacks, it's hard to challenge at this point of the game, and you can't see the feet clearly at that point. So no challenge from the Diamondbacks manager. It'll be an RBI and a fielder's choice.
And you can't really fault Castillo on that ball because that's a tough ball. You got to make sure it lands because Stanton has a good arm, so if he gets too far out there, he's definitely going to get doubled off at first.
Nick Ahmed, the 8-hitter, and now Nicolino's looking for an escape hatch out of this second inning. Don't look on deck though, because Patrick Corbin can swing the bat. He's 4 for 12. He's got a better average than the man in front of him, Nick Ahmed. Right field and deep in the corner. Stanton chasing, and it's foul.
That's one of those balls that'll wake you up as an outfielder, because as the off outfielder, you're playing him a little bit shallow, and he hits one over your head that's almost home run distance. Then you want to go back to the dugout and ask everybody, hey, are we sure we got this scouting report right? Because I had no chance to catch that ball. Wouldn't be surprised to see Stanton maybe stay back a step or two right here after that ball being hit over his head.
There's Tomas. Owings across the diamond. And an 0-1 pitch coming to the shortstop, Nick Ahmed. In the air. Should be deep enough. Ozuna, a running start. Throw comes home and safe. Tomas comes across. But I'll tell you what, Marcell Ozuna made it close. Now moving up on the play was Chris Owings. Here's a look.
One of the things I love about Marcell Ozuna is his footwork. He gets himself in such a good position to throw. Watch how quick his feet work. Look how accurate that throw is. That throw is right on line. If there's a slower runner, there's a play at the plate right there. That ball is very deep, but he does so many things so well to give himself a chance to make a play, and that's one of them. He has great feet out there.
Marlins are actually looking at video right now to see if Tomas left early, I would guess. That's one of the things you can review, and teams now aggressively do review. Did a guy leave early, or on an extra base hit, did he touch every base? Of course, a lot of times you are somewhat in a corner as far as the views, and there'll be no review. These are synced up. Time code syncs those two pieces of video together, and he clearly left after the ball was caught. So Ahmed has a sacrifice fly. Owings is in scoring position, and here is Corbin, whom we pointed out is a good hitter. It's the only lefty that Nicolino gets to face in this lineup. They have some pretty good lefty bats on the bench. David Peralta at the top of that list. It's a four-man bench as well. The Diamondbacks are going. There's Peralta with just four men on the bench. Etch got to hurry, and he does, and gets the out. And Nicolino gives up a couple, and the Diamondbacks are on top 2-1.
Del SAT y es presentado a ustedes por Kendall Toyota y West Kendall Toyota.
In Miami tonight, Arizona and the Marlins open up a three-game set. Emails and tweets. Now, just for many of you who are sending catchers' names in, we did not give you a complete list of all catchers that had ever led off. So there are a few guys that we didn't mention who have just a handful of at-bats. And Woody, who is watching Not sure where he's watching tonight. My guess would be Tallahassee somewhere. Pointed out that Tim McCarver had the speed to lead off, and in fact he did. McCarver 9 games in 72, 1 in 68, and 4 times when he first got to the big leagues of 1959. So there you go for leadoff hitting catchers. Here's Chris Johnson, and he takes down low. Johnson, Danny Echeverria, Miguel Rojas from Miami in the bottom of the 2nd. Both pitchers had to work to minimize damage. Corbin gave up a double and a single to open his inning. He gave up 1 run. Nicolino had the bags loaded, nobody out, and he gave up 2. John Chimchuk has produced a full list of all catchers, but we'll get back to that. Other questions? Preston. This one is for you if I can scroll through and find it. Giancarlo Stanton, you like Stanton in the 4 spot, or would you like him in the 3 spot? Which is better and why? Here's the 2-2.
It really depends on the setup of your team. He's going to get more at-bats throughout the season if he hits 3rd. That's just how it goes. If you hit higher in order, the more at-bats you're going to get. But when you have guys that are producing at the top of the lineup, Prado, Yelich, he's going to get to drive in more runs in the 4-hole. So it really depends on how your lineup is built. I think this year's lineup is built more for him to be a cleanup hitter. Maybe years in the past, he's been more suited for the ball club to be a 3-hole hitter.
I think the way it's working right now with Prado, Yelich, Stanton, Marlins don't want to really tinker with that. On to first. Brandon Drury throws out Chris Johnson. And Corbin has retired 4 straight. Danny Echeverria coming up. And Roberto points out, can you guys tell the Diamondbacks you can't wash the darks and the whites together? It is a darker shade of gray. Goslin and Echeverria bounces out, and all of a sudden Corbin has found a groove. The Diamondbacks have like 11 or 12 different combinations of uniforms. The snakeskin theme, all kind of rattlesnake themed jerseys.
With the stripe that doesn't go all the way up the leg, that's a unique feature of it. It's a lot going on in those uniforms.
You know what, though? When he stands to the plate, he's still Paul Goldschmidt, no matter what uniform he's wearing.
This is true. And he's still a bad man with a bat in his hand.
Yeah, he is. And this is a team that many feel will contend. Some thought they or have said that they will end up at the top of the West when it's all said and done. They're going to need a little bit better pitching out of Greinke and Miller, whom the Marlins missed, but you expect that they will get through a bad month and get better. Rojas clubs one into left field, and Miguel Rojas a 2-out single, and that brings up Nicolino.
It's been a lot of fun watching Rojas since he's come to the big leagues. Known for having that great glove, was described as having magical hands at one point, but to see him gain the confidence at the plate, he just looks like he doesn't care who's up there. He looks like he has the confidence to get a hit against anybody. You can see it in his body language. You can see it in the way he carries himself now. He's a much more confident hitter at the plate.
Nicolino, this is almost unfair. Nicolino's 0 for 3. I told you that Corbin is one of the toughest lefties in the National League on left-handed hitters. And it's 0-2.
Yeah, we talked about how comfortable Rojas looks. This does not look comfortable. This is a tough at bat, like you said. Facing the guy who can throw low 90s, 93, 94, and also has a really good breaking ball against a guy who hasn't swung the bat much.
1 for 28 in his major league career. That'll about do it in the second for the Fish. Nicolino goes back to work on the mound. We go back into the email bag. 2-1 Arizona. The Diamondbacks quite comfortable in this ballpark. Remember, they came in and swept the Marlins last year.
Yeah, Atlanta really has their number here, but Arizona at 13-6 with that .684 win percentage has done a lot of damage here in the tank.
I'm not sure why, but in terms of baseball, home and road stuff, I mean, it's hard to say that it's not the same guys. It's not the same team. These two teams have turned over the last 3-4 years. So why do things like that happen?
Sometimes certain teams just always catch you when you're not playing well. It was like that for the Marlins in the late 90s, early 2000s with Montreal. It seemed like every time we went to Montreal, we were playing poorly.
Historically, the Marlins have always played poorly in Pittsburgh for whatever reason.
It's just one of those things that happen, and you have to battle, and sometimes you get a year to go your way, but there's a lot of places for a lot of teams that just they don't have success.
Bill Gosselin's in the leadoff spot into center field. Ozuna in, and he makes the catch.
Got to get Nicolino back down in the zone. He's up a little bit right now, and when he's up above that mid-thigh level, his fastball loses the movement. He doesn't get that tail. He doesn't get that sink, and he doesn't throw hard enough for guys to miss him when he's up in his zone like that. So he's got to get it down. That way he can start missing some barrels again.
All right, here's Brandon Drury, who flied out back in the first. For all of you clamoring for more catcher names who have led off, a complete list is at my fingertips. I can't go through the whole list, but there are guys that got a game here or there. Charlie Moore, Brian Downing, Don Slott, Johnny Oates. Remember him, former manager, the late Johnny Oates. Yeah, McCarver's name is on there, but so is John Roseborough, 7 times for the Twins in '68. So is Mickey Cochran for the Phillies back in 1925. And this one will make Craig smile. The list of catchers who have led off to start a game. Choo-Choo Coleman for the Mets in 1963.
Choo-choo.
And thus ends our discussion.
I didn't think you were going to say Duffy Dyer.
No, and well, you know what, Craig? There's 2 names that'll make you smile. Choo-Choo Coleman and Paul LaDuca.
Oh, a good foul. How about Manny Sanguian? Is he on that list?
No.
Oh, maybe.
Nope. It's all right. Choo-Choo Coleman's the best I can do. Another base hit, this one up the middle off the bat of Brandon Drury. And so here comes Paul Goldschmidt, one of the best all-around players in the game.
He only came into this game hitting 239, but this guy is a superstar's superstar. He hits for power. He hits for power all over the field. He's got that nice short setup with a short swing. He can run, steal bases. Oh, and he's a Gold Glove first baseman. And the great thing I love about him, when he hits a home run, he hits a 3-run homer, he goes down the dugout and thanks the other 2 guys for getting on base for him. What a nice guy.
So personality.
That's true story.
So personality is on your scouting report as one of the 8 tools or whatever.
You know, when you have guys that have talent, that's great. But when a guy that has talent is also a nice guy, that's even better.
I like it. The scary thing is Goldschmidt really hasn't been that hot. Coors Light always brings you the cold, hard facts. And these arrive with Goldschmidt's name on them. Multiple All-Star games. First Diamondback elected to start last year, 2014. He was a reserve 2013. That's I mean, this is a franchise that has had success. That's hard to believe. This is only the 19th year of Diamondback baseball, and they've been to the postseason 5 times. 99, they won the World Series in 2001, 2002, 07 they were in the NLCS, and then 2011, that's the last time they were in.
Very rarely do you see power hitters have such a short setup and still be able to generate the amount of power that he does. He's got a really short stride. His hands don't move that much, but he has tremendous explosion with his hands through the zone. He's really good with 2 strikes, and he can pull the ball when he needs to.
2-1 pitch is up. And for all of you that watch the Major League Draft and say the be-all, end-all is the first-round picks, Paul Goldschmidt went in the 8th round out of Texas State, that baseball factory. He led the NCAA in RBIs, and still he was in the 8th round. Hits it hard into left field, and all of a sudden Nicolino getting knocked around a bit. Goldschmidt is aboard, and here comes Ricky Weeks. In 2009, made his debut in 2011.
We said Nicolino's got to get the ball down. You see what that pitch is? That pitch is mid-thigh high. His ball doesn't have action up there, and even though that ball's away, Goldschmidt was able to pull it with authority. It's a changeup that he doesn't get down. Good hitters are going to hit those pitches.
Well, here's Weeks, and of all the Diamondback hitters, the best swings of the night were Weeks. He crushed 2 balls foul and then ripped a single. And so whatever he had on the scouting report, Ricky Weeks was all over it in the 2nd. Let's see what adjustments Nicolino makes.
Weeks is the type of guy that's definitely going to give Nicolino problems because he stands so close to the plate that he's going to take that outside pitch away from him. And if Nicolino's not down, he's going to be there for the hitting. So this is one of the guys that Nicolino definitely has to be down in the zone with, because Ricky Weeks is so close to the plate. He's got such big coverage.
Got under it. Stanton and Ozuna. Ozuna's got his feet set, and everybody holds. A good out to get if you're Nicolino. Now he's got to get Yasmani Tomas out. There's 2 down here in the 3rd.
He got away with one right there. That ball was, again, thigh high in the middle of the plate. You could hear Weeks' reaction to it. He was upset that he missed it. He knew it was a pitch he should have handled. Sometimes you get away with it.
Now Tomas walked and scored in the 2nd. Diamondbacks got 2 in the 2nd, and they've got 2 on here in the 3rd. Nicolino gets in with a fastball. Roberto says nothing like hearing your name on Twitter Tuesday, and then Preston breaks out in laughter. That is a good night. Strike, and it's 0-2. Colby wants to know, Actually, Cameron wants to know, has a pitcher ever hit leadoff?
If he were to, I would believe that person would have to be Mike Hampton. I don't think it's ever happened, but if it were to have happened, it would have to have been Mike Hampton.
Comebacker. Nicolino gets the out. And so Justin wriggles out of the third. 2-1, Arizona. Cinco de Mayo at the ballpark this Thursday. Marlins and Diamondbacks at 7:10. Seniors 55 and older wearing a Cinco de Mayo hat will get free tickets on Senior Free Ticket Thursdays presented by Wellmax. For more information, go to marlins.com today. Oh, look at that. Too much time on their hands in the world's most dangerous tape room. JT Realmuto in the leadoff spot for Miami tonight. Martin Prado, then Christian Yelich. Corbin slings in a strike. Realmuto blasted one off the wall in left field for his 6th double. Just scorching hot. And in talking to Frank Menechino and in talking to Realmuto himself, the change came about by just deciding not to worry about mechanics. Don't worry about hands, feet. Just see ball, hit ball. And all of a sudden the barrel of the bat was getting through the strike zone a lot faster and with much more authority.
Sometimes you can actually think away your ability, and that you get so concerned with, am I getting my foot down, are my hands are in the right place? By the time you realize you haven't done anything and the ball's on the way, so now you start to swing at bad pitches. You're not hitting the pitches you should hit. So sometimes you just got to get back to bases. Leave the work in the cage. Leave the work in batting practice. And when you get on the field, just think about seeing what's coming out of the pitcher's hand.
Corbin's 2-2. Breaking ball and a tapper back to the mound. Corbin, the good athlete that he is, wings it on over to first. Well, now everyone's chiming in on other oddities as far as leadoff hitters go. You had the question of any pitcher led off. John Chimchuk, our baseball historian, is looking at that. I don't think Babe Ruth ever hit the leadoff spot, but you never know. Someone wanted to know if Cliff Floyd was the best power hitter the Marlins ever used as a leadoff hitter. And Cliff did lead off, didn't he?
He did. Cliff had a couple big years at the top of the order. I think one year he may have hit like 9 or 10 home runs in April. Yeah, he was dangerous in that leadoff spot. I remember him leading off in Montreal.
What went into that decision in terms of the Marlins manager at the time? Because you were there too, right?
Yeah, I was there towards the end of it. I think it was right at the end of when they were when the team had won the World Series and a few guys ended up making an exodus out of here. And you know, Cliff had really good speed, big guy, but he could run, so it was a fit for him at the top of the lineup.
Remember Hanley Ramirez in that leadoff spot, won a batting title. Pretty good power hitter himself. Prado, Drury, and Patrick Corbin giving up the double, the single, and that run in the first has settled into this ball game. Here comes Yelich.
So I'm looking at Corbin and Nicolino, and they're kind of doing the same thing right now. Corbin is starting to get back down on his own. The last two batters for Nicolino, he looked better, getting the ball down in his own. But with lefties like that, they have that tailing action on the first base side of the plate, and that can really be effective against righties to make you reach for the ball.
Here's a good question, and this goes to that tag-up play that the Marlins looked on replay to see if Tomas had left early. This is from Seth. The rule with a runner tagging up at third, does the ball have to be in the back of the glove like it does now on replay for a play at first or a forced play at any base?
No, it does not. Any contact with the glove is when that play starts.
And that's a good distinction to make, contact, because if the outfielder bobbles the ball, it's not when he secures it, it's when it first hit his glove.
Right.
That's to prevent an outfielder from, like batting it in the air.
Yeah, juggling it and running all the way into second base. Trust me, if the rules were like that, somebody would have tried it by now. And they probably did try it by now, and that's why they changed the rule.
Possibly it was Lenny Randall who
the guy juggling the ball.
Was a creative defender in his day. 2-2. And Yelich takes down low. Corbin got Yelich to bounce one up the middle. Terrific play by Nick Ahmed. How big is that play now? Ahmed stole a single away from Yelich and got the out at second. And that kept the Marlins rallied to just one run.
Corbin has proved that when he wants to go to a pitch for a strikeout for Yelich, he's going to the breaking ball. He went to the breaking ball early in that bat when Yelich had men in scoring position. The 2-2 pitch right there from Corbin was a breaking ball. We need to keep our eye on that. If Corbin stays in the game, if Yelich has a big at bat, he may be trying to make that big pitch with that curveball.
That is strike three called. And Corbin gets Yelich. And that was in the strike zone at the knees. Perfect pitch from Corbin. 2-1 Diamondbacks.
Having similar seasons in terms of playing well either on the road or at home not so well. Look at the numbers here. Arizona has struggled at Chase Field with a lot more games. 17 games, they're 5-12. The Marlins have played only 9 games so far coming in, and they are at 2-7. But on the road, the Marlins, one of 4 teams to win 10 games on the road, and Arizona, as you see, had a good record, 7-3 on the road. Don Mattingly said today to me, I got to expect that our road play will start to match our home play, and then our home play will pick up in terms of average and numbers. The Marlins are hitting, guys, 45 points less, 248 home, compared to a Major League best 293 on the road so far this year. Guys?
Yeah, Craig, it's I think for, as Preston alluded to, the brain trust, Tony La Russa, Dave Stewart, and Chip Hale. Nice play by Prado. Nice play by Prado. With the bare hand, he gets Wellington Castillo, and there's an out here in the fourth.
Look at this. This ball is not easy. He barehanded, stops some movement, gets a good grip on it, and is able to fire a strike to Johnson over at first base to get him in time. That's a great play.
Oh, that's nice. So a quick out for Justin Nicolino here in the fourth. Here's Chris Owings. I think both teams are kind of in the same boat after a month of the season. The Marlins are scratching their head and saying, all right, which team is this? Is this the team that just swept the Dodgers in LA in 4? Looks great in taking the Brewers, taking 2 of 3 from the Brewers. Outplayed the Mets in New York, took 2 of 3 from the Mets. Have played the Washington Nationals straight up this year? Or is it the team that lost 3 at home to Atlanta? And the Diamondbacks the same way. I mean, the Diamondbacks swept the Giants in 4 in San Francisco, and they just laid a 3-7 egg on their homestand against Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Colorado. Now, Pittsburgh and St. Louis, and even Colorado is better than most people thought they would be. So it's really hard to tell. That's what makes this series intriguing.
Well, one of the things the Marlins can definitely say that they've done differently is the bullpen is different. The bullpen is pitching better, and they've changed some pieces in the bullpen, and it's been a whole different unit that we saw on the road trip than we did at the first homestand.
John Mattingly, Chip Hale, both paid their dues. Mattingly, of course, with the Yankees and the Dodgers before getting a shot. Hale in the minor leagues, as well as the major leagues as well. 6 years in the minor leagues for Arizona. Nick Ahmed swings and misses. And then Hale was also Bob Melvin's bench coach in Oakland for 3 seasons. He was the Mets' third base coach for a pair of years, and was with Melvin in Arizona as a third base coach as well. 0-1 pitch. That's lined in left center field. Ozuna trying to cut it off. Owings around second, on his way to third. The throw goes to second, and big turn. Rojas heard noise behind him and tried to sweep the tag.
Right there, Echeverria's got to be his eyes. When Echeverria realizes the ball isn't coming to him, he has to dedicate his eyes to the base runner and the second baseman to give him some help. So right there, he should be looking at the throw. Okay, it's not going to third, it's going to second. Now he should be checking the runner, and he should be telling Miguel 1-1-1-1-1.
Great hustle by Ahmed out of the box. I told you earlier, Chip Hale is a very aggressive manager, and the Diamondbacks were very good on the bases last year. This is Patrick Corbin, and he fouls it off. 132 stolen bases last year. The Diamondbacks were second in all of baseball. Hey, it's Matt Williams back in a Diamondback uniform. Marlin fans saw a lot of him as the skipper of the Nationals. Corbin bounced to short back in the second. There's 1 out. 4 hits this year in 13 at bats. Long wait by Nicolino. There's a bunt. Runner holds at third. Nicolino gets the out. And a nice job by Nicolino. That first and third one-out bunt play can be really tricky.
He did a great job. He did exactly what you're supposed to do. Get to the ball composed, check the runner, make him commit towards going back towards third base, take a good throw to first base. That's a great job by Nicolino. That's the way you do it in spring training when you work on it. Great job by the young man keeping his composure.
Because if Prado has to field that ball, the run scores.
Right.
Because Owings can follow Prado as far as Prado goes.
Yes. Very well done.
Well, to make it work, Nicolino has to get Phil Goslin out. He's 0 for 2. Breaking ball strike.
He's been up with his fastball. He's gotten the changeup in decent locations. The breaking ball occasionally he's been down, but he's been up with his fastball, and usually that tells me he's rushing a little bit. He's not staying back enough to let that arm get out to be able to drive the ball down through the lower part of the zone.
That one's to left, and that's trouble. Yelich going after it. Yelich is there, and he makes the catch. He covers a lot of ground in left. A Gold Glover a couple seasons ago. Yelich keeps it a one-run game. Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. By Checkers, fast foodies know the deal. And by your South Florida Chevy dealer. In Miami tonight, the Diamondbacks with a 2-1 lead. Rich Waltz, Preston Wilson, Jessica Blaylock, and Craig Minervini. Giancarlo Stanton is in the box. Patrick Corbin is ready. Now the Diamondbacks shifts all three infielders on the third base side. Stanton, a little tapper back to the mound. That was back in the first. Corbin comes in and misses. It's 2-0.
Both at bats, Corbin has tried to go in off the plate to see if Giancarlo Stanton is going to expand, and then he tried to make a pitcher wait.
Stanton hammers it at third. Drury knocks it down, picks it up. Stanton is safe at first.
First of all, that's not his fault, because that ball almost killed him. It really did. It almost dragged him onto the outfield grass. He's looking over in the dugout going, seriously? You guys are hitting the ball this hard with this guy? Yeah, when a ground ball almost takes you off your feet, you know a guy hits the ball hard. Jeez.
They're going to give him an error.
Oh, that's got to be a base hit. Good gracious.
What is the exit speed of that?
I believe maybe the scorekeeper doesn't understand how hard that ball was hit and how, I mean, he actually beat the throw to the glove if you look at it.
I think the error is on the ball popping out of his glove.
Good Lord, when the ball comes off the bat that hard, it's going to either pop off of something or go through something.
Now Ozuna. So Stan is aboard.
And you're supposed to Supposed to get a little home cooking on that call right there in your home ballpark. Play with Todd Helton, and every ball he hit like that was a base hit.
You hitters are all the same.
We are. It's a fraternity.
104 miles an hour off the bat.
And he was standing all the way at the back of the grass. That's the part that gets me. It's not like he was standing all the way back there and he had to make that long throw. You know, that's, I don't know. I would not have ruled it like that. That's a base hit. Even if it's a visiting team, I can understand how that's a base hit.
A 1 pitch to Ozuna. Look out.
Oh!
I hope everyone is okay.
Wow.
It looks like they are, and it looks like she got the ball. That's amazing. That was a rocket.
Yeah.
Counts 0-2 though. Corbin struck Ozuna out on a breaking ball in the dirt back in the first. Stanton's at first. Nobody out. Miami's down 2-1. Ozuna left field. That's curly.
Oh, we got some brave fans in the stands tonight.
That gentleman paid the price. Don't shake that right hand too much.
Ow! Threw the hands off the clavicle, off the seat.
Yeah, but look at he plays the rebound perfectly. It's all right. It'll be worth it tomorrow, even when it's swollen and blue. 0-2. And it's out. Ball and 2 strikes. Marlins live tomorrow. Jose takes the ball. The Florida Panthers will be here for batting practice. That's the Cats on the diamond. 6:30 start tomorrow night. Marlins live. Ozuna spraying balls everywhere. We did have a. I apologize that I've been not great at getting into all the emails. We had a Jose question. It's from Chris in Milwaukee. Who was there for all 3 games to watch the Marlins and the Brewers. 1-2 pitch in the dirt. And his question for you, Preston, about Jose. Anything you've seen with Jose's struggles or somewhat average numbers to start the season?
A couple things I've seen. There were a few games where his velocity wasn't very good compared to what we usually see out of him. But more than anything, I think in key times his location has left him. Even when he had the game when he had 13 strikeouts, when they would get a man on or get men in scoring position, he would somehow leave a ball in the middle of the plate, and they were able to drive in runs against him.
That's a smash off the glove of Goslin, who gets it out there. Safe at first. My goodness. Miami's hit 2 balls extremely hard. And again, that middle defense. Ahmed made the terrific play in the first. And this time it's Goslin.
That ball's hit really hard. That's a great at bat for Ozuna. Ahmed does a good job turning this play around, and Goslin gets to him, and he gets rid of that ball in a hurry.
So here's Chris Johnson, who bounced to third back in the second. That was 106 off the bat. Our baseball historian John Chimchuk, remember we've had leadoff questions. Someone threw out, has a pitcher ever led off? It's happened twice in history, but both come with large caveats. Cesar Tovar of the Twins was more of a stunt. He was going to play all 9 positions that game, and he started as the pitcher and led off. And then Alvin Dark, who was a shortstop by trade, pitched 1 inning, the only inning of his career, and then moved to short. So bona fide pitchers, no, but 2 guys who started as pitchers only to move to other positions. And both were late September, so I'm guessing last game of the year. Ozuna's back in. Anthony wants to know, Derek Dietrich, will he be filling in at second base until D comes back? Tonight, against this tough lefty, it's Miguel Rojas.
Well, I think Dietrich is definitely a guy who's earned a good look with the advance that he's made with his play defensively and offensively. He's gotten better both sides of the ball. He can provide power for the offense. He's a guy that I think Don Mattingly definitely wants to give a good look.
Well, and Mattingly told me today that he told Dietrich he was going to find some lefties to get him in there against. And one of those lefties, it sounds like, is Robbie Ray, who starts on Thursday. Marlins get Ruby De La Rosa, a right-hander, tomorrow. So expect Dietrich in there tomorrow, probably on Thursday. But Mattingly also said Corbin's not a guy you want to throw Dietrich in there, or even Justin Bour. He pointed out he's really good and really tough against left-handed hitters. Echeverria now. And a strike to Miami shortstop.
Yeah, he's almost got left-handed specialist numbers against left-handers. He's got numbers like that guy you bring in the 7th or 8th inning to face your big lefty. Those guys usually have those type of numbers.
Echeverria fouls it off. Echeverria had that big night on Saturday night in Milwaukee. Had a homer and 4 hits. Had a 1-for-4 day on Sunday. And his average had been dwindling under 200 before those 2 ball games. Ozuna is still at first. Corbin's not given up a hit since the 2nd, but 2 balls hit extremely hard here in the 4th. Echeverria. Goslin to first in time. 4 innings in. Opener of a 3-gamer. It's 2-1 Arizona. Matched up, Justin Nicolino and Patrick Corbin. Geico, Marlins moment, 1994. Let's turn back the clock. Jay Randolph and Gary Carter calling that one. Chuck Carr's 5 hits sets a record for hits in a game.
I will dare to say none of them were bunts, because Chuck Carr don't bunt.
Really?
Chucky Carr made that statement one day. Well, that's Chucky Carr to bunt. Chuck Carr don't bunt.
He was a third-person guy?
He was definitely a third-person guy.
The greatest player that was ever a third-person guy had to be Ricky Henderson, right?
My favorite all times. If you ever speak to a catcher that was in the batter's box, catching when Ricky was in the batter's box, it's the most unbelievable monologue to himself that you'll ever hear.
There's Brandon Drury. Paul Goldschmidt, Ricky Weeks will follow.
I'll give you guys a little sample of it. Ricky get in the box and he swing at a pitch. He's like, come on now, Ricky. Ricky don't like that. Ricky don't swing at that pitch. Ricky got to make that pitch get down. That's how Ricky does. And that's his conversation to himself in the batter's box.
I can vouch for that. He was in Seattle for a season, and I was there. And he was just so much fun to talk to because of that. To Hopper, out to Echeverria. Our Twitter Tuesday includes emails, and it's driven by 4. To tweet us at Fox Marlins, email us foxmarlins@gmail.com, and just hashtag it Twitter Tuesday. Craig, we had a question. Craig Minervini joins us now. A question about the series, the 2-game series with the Pirates and the Marlins in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and that series right now is in question, isn't it?
At the most, yes, I would say that is true. Tom Kohler said today that Major League Baseball should have an answer by the end of the week. But the Marlins did meet with representatives from the CDC, Center for Disease Control, while they were in Milwaukee regarding the Zika virus, the concerns, and they're much stronger, he said, when the team heard this report than they thought. Now, a newspaper in Puerto Rico is reporting that the series has already been canceled, but Kohler told us we won't know officially by the end of the week. It is pointing in that direction, it sounds, that this series will be moved back here, that Monday and Tuesday, May 30th and 31st, to this ballpark here.
Which would mean it would be a 4-game series.
Yes.
It's a very talented and fun to watch Pirate team.
It's unfortunate, too. We had a good time, as you recall,
Yep.
some years ago when we were in Puerto Rico for the series against the Mets. It was a big deal there. And hopefully, if it doesn't work out this year, the Marlins can return in a future year, play some games in Puerto Rico.
That was 2010, Marlins and Mets. Iram Bithorn Stadium has undergone some renovations, I understand, as well. That one fouled back over the screen.
Yeah, I played in that ballpark in the Puerto Rican Winter League. So good place to play, nice ballpark. So a shame that had to happen, because Puerto Rico's having trouble with the economy, and then to be able to lose that series because of concerns, it's tough.
Goldschmidt walks. He's done that a lot. He leads the National League with 28 of them.
Again, we're seeing Nicolino up in the strike zone, up and away, not allowing that arm to catch up. Definitely got to try to find a way to settle down and slow down a little bit so he can get back to being himself. But he's sitting at 74 pitches, so he's going to have to get it done in a hurry.
Now, Goldschmidt's a guy that is not just about power. You talked about all the different things that he can do. He can steal bases as well. He hasn't really done much of that this year. It's just 1 of 2. But last year he stole 21 bases while bopping 33 homers, 38 doubles, and driving in 110.
Well, he's not the fastest base runner on the team, but what he does is he picks up keys very well. He does his homework, and Dave McKay, the first base coach over there, I had him in St. Louis. He is absolutely one of the best base coaches in baseball. I'd have to say he and Rusty Kuntz, who's in Kansas City right now, are the 2 best first base coaches I ever played for.
Rusty Kuntz got a lot of great pub last year with the Royals going into the postseason, scouting opposing pitchers and all of that stuff.
It's no accident that those 2 guys go to teams and the outfield plays well and the base running gets better. That's not by accident. Part of it is the athletes that they have to work with, but part of it is the work that those guys put into what they do.
Pitches out to Ricky Weeks. If you're trying to breathe life into your career and you're a hitter, the first call you make in the offseason is probably Colorado. The second call you make is Arizona. I told you Ricky Weeks had a rough time in Seattle last year. What a different environment for him to play his home games. That might be 2. Echeverria, 1 there. Rojas turn, nicely done. 6-4-3. Nicolino gets out of the fifth, halfway through 2-1 Arizona.
Base number 500, and he brought the base with him back to Miami. The Marlins made sure to talk to each team in each city, and they asked them, hey, if Ichiro reaches that milestone, please make sure that he gets the base. It happened in Milwaukee, so the Brewers took care of it. Not only did Ichiro get the base, but he got some love from his teammates on Twitter, including Christian Yelich, who said, congratulations, Ichiro, breaking a new record every night. Tom Kohler also gave Ichiro a shout out on Twitter.
Well, you know you've arrived when you get a shout out on Twitter. I mean, of all the things that Ichiro has accomplished, Preston, just to get that base, everything he does seems to be a milestone. You look, the amazing thing, he's 42. The throw that he made from left field in Milwaukee to nail a runner at the plate is as good a throw as you'll see from a left fielder. He can still throw. He can still play the outfield at a very high level.
Yes, he can. I'm very impressed at his output this year.
And nice job by Rojas to take an off-speed pitch into right field. It sets up nicely for Nicolino to try to bunt him up. Marlins leading off the fifth, down 2-1 against Patrick Corbin and the Diamondbacks.
No, and when you're breaking records like that and, you know, getting the milestones, that's why he's got that smug sense on his look. You know, it's like, yeah, I did that. I'm satisfied with what I'm doing right now. It looks like a content look on his face, doesn't it?
Now, if you're wondering what the heck that is, if you haven't been to Marlins Park, the elevators in Marlins Park have I guess fatheads aren't quite the sort of a large fatheads is the poster that you put up on your wall. That the faces are up on those doors. And so a variety of players are on elevators here at Marlins Park. Literally on the door of the elevator. Nicolino trying to bunt and turn the lineup over to Real Muto and Prado. Miami trying to tie this game. Patrick Corbin wobbled out of the gate, but after that he's been really good. Marlins have just 4 hits. Corbin misses away. It's 2-0. It's one of those guys that you hear about that didn't start playing baseball till late. Not till his junior year of high school. He was a basketball star in high school and then played 1 year in junior college as well. Growing up in Syracuse, obviously that's a big basketball city. And Nicolino pops it foul. 2-1.
I think Corbin is trying to pitch to the top of the strike zone here on purpose, because that's the easiest pitch to pop up when you're trying to bunt. And when you got a guy that you know your sack button. If you feel confident that you can throw strikes in the upper half of the strike zone, there's a decent chance they may pop it up.
There's the bunt. It's a good one. Corbin has it, sets himself, and gets the out. Almost a collision there between Brandon Drury, the third baseman for the Diamondbacks, and Corbin.
Nice job by Nicolino getting the bat above the baseball. See him raise it up there, making sure he hits the top half of the ball to get the ball on the zone, on the ground. That's important when a guy's trying to throw you up in the zone. Make sure you get that bat head above the baseball. Okay, what Nicolino's fielder's position well. That's a nice sack bunt. Good touch. Didn't bunt it too hard.
And here is Real Muto. Well, look, the standard bearer for lefties that fielded his position well, bunted when he needed to, did everything to help himself, was Mark Burley, right? I mean,
yes.
He was the guy. Real Muto has doubled and singled. Double, 6 of the season. Real Muto in the leadoff spot. And he fouls it back and out of play.
Bunting is one of those things where you're in a very vulnerable position as a player. You're standing still. You're standing more broad, so you're more squared up to the pitcher. It takes a lot of courage to stand in there and bunt.
Oh, 0-1. Pitches down low. Uncle Louie with a tweet wanting to know about Jessica's story on Ichiro. Is he the oldest player to steal his 500th base?
That's a good question.
You think about some of the great players that retired in their early 40s. 1-1. Breaking ball in. John Chimchuk, our baseball historian, who should get paid double for his work tonight on this email Twitter Tuesday.
I looked over there one time. His headset was wrapped around his arm. He was a mess over there, man. We were throwing way too many questions at him.
Real Muto trying to get a good pitch to hit here. Miguel Rojas at second. Pitch is out. Change up, and it's 3-1. Then you get into Prado, and then Yelich, and then Stanton.
Real Muto's had a really good at bat laying off pitches. He laid off a changeup away. He's laid off a breaking ball in, and then another changeup away. Corbin's going to have to come to him a little bit now. Even though first base is open, he's got 2 pitches that he's going to have to make a pitch with.
Another changeup. We told you that Patrick Corbin was a great basketball player. This is him. Not many starting pitchers in Major League Baseball can pull that off.
And that's a two-hander, too.
Yeah, 360 with 2 hands.
You got to get some elevation, Holmes.
6'3", 207.
Got to take him to the playground with me. We hustle up a little change, you know. Take Corbin out there. Be my Woody Allen. Sorry, Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
I would not take Woody Allen anywhere.
So wait a minute. That would make you what, Wesley Snipes?
Yes, I'd be Wesley Snipes. Yes.
Real Muto does not walk much, so being in the leadoff spot, he's walked just once this year. He's battled Corbin here in this at bat. Count still 3-2. You can see Corbin trying to get him to roll over on something off speed, you know, on the outside part. Went with a fastball up. So you got a guy on the mound who was a better basketball player than baseball player in high school. You got a guy at the plate who was a better football player than baseball player, although he was a terrific baseball player. I don't want to sell that short. He was much more accomplished at baseball than Corbin was. Remember, Real Muto was a star quarterback who led his high school team to the 5A championship in a great football state, Oklahoma. Three-two coming from Corbin. That one fouled back.
It's amazing, Rich. The pitch before that, he actually tried to overthrow and threw a little harder, and I think that's what the meeting was about out there at the mound. In that pitch, he looked a lot more relaxed, and he actually threw it harder. That one registered at 91. The other one registered at 89.
And one pitch of the entire at bat sits in that strike zone.
That's when you know a guy is taking some good swings off you, when you got a man in scoring position.
That one's going to be foul. On Wednesday night, our La Lechonera showdown. Jose Fernandez, Ruby De La Rosa starts at 6:30 with Marlins Live. Tenth pitch of the at bat. Fastball in. Real Muto got around on it. Weeks goes back at the track and makes the catch. Rojas tags on his way to third, and he gets there. It's a long fly ball out about 375 feet.
Good job of base running. Good job of base running by Rojas, realizing that the left fielder is going away from the plate into the gap. Real Muto almost gets that ball up in the zone. He almost gets the bat head enough on it. They drive it out of the ballpark. Got in on him just a tad. But I like what Rojas did. They're seeing the play, taking the left fielder away from the play. He doesn't have any momentum to come into that throw. Guy is usually an infielder. You know you can get that play in this ballpark. Good job of base running. You never know. Now you're a wild pitch away to top the ball game. Anything can happen. That's good heads-up base running.
And you've got one of Miami's hottest hitters up right now in Martin Prado. 2-1 Arizona. Prado singled in the first, bounced to third in the third inning. And Corbin misses down low. A lot of names that are familiar to Marlin fans and to Diamondback fans were involved in that Braves trade with the Diamondbacks. We talked about Ahmed and Drury and Prado and Johnson. Pitch misses out. Patrick Corbin was involved in a trade with a familiar name. It was an Angel to begin with, and then ended up in Arizona in the Dan Herron trade. Would love to get Dan Herron up in the booth.
Oh, yes.
One of these days.
A lot of fun to talk to.
Prado, admittedly, Prado is one of those guys that often lets out a yell before or even if a ball doesn't hit him.
Yeah.
That's not that far in, too.
Just in case.
Natural reactions. 3-0. Strike.
Corbin is pitching so carefully to these last two batters. You saw Real Muto. There was only 2 pitches out of the 10 pitches in the strike zone, and those weren't in the middle of the strike zone. Prado has only gotten 1 pitch over the plate so far. He's really trying to stay away from the hot hitters right now.
Breaking ball, strike.
And that's a 3-1 breaking ball. Maybe in another count, Prado might hit that pitch, but 3-1, you're looking for a fastball, something to drive. But Prado's a veteran hitter. He also knows that there's first and second base open right here, so he may not get that juicy pitch to hit. Look at that reaction. 3-1 breaking ball. He snapped off on you.
See what he's got. 3-2. Breaking ball, a swing and a miss, and Prado strikes out. And the Marlins lead the tying run at third. 5 in, 2-1 Arizona.
Up in Miami. His story is simply amazing. He is paddling from Texas all the way around to New York, Josh. Congratulations on the journey so far. You're not quite halfway, and you're doing it for a great cause.
Yes, I'm doing it for the Task Force Dagger Foundation, organization that was there for me and my family when I was hospitalized for about 3 months with traumatic brain injury, and then for all the special operations warriors who are struggling with facing down TBI and PTSD.
You have a website, Veteran Voyage. We'll put it up on the screen, 360.com. Now you're paddling. You started in Texas. You're on a paddleboard, and you're going. And your wife here is driving along the coast somehow so if at night you can go in. How far are you going in a day?
So I'm averaging about 35 a day when I paddle.
Miles.
35 miles. Today was a half day because I get to come watch the Marlins game. So it was great. Thank you.
How about your trip the other day? You were going long after Marco Island. You ran into some weather.
Yeah, we tried at the end of about 100 miles. I tried a 24-hour world record attempt, and I went from Marco Island to Key West. We made it about 65 miles or 61 miles. Got hit by some weather at night, which is sort of like having a pillow fight on a waterbed in the dark with 3 people. Not good on a paddleboard.
Going to wrap it up at the Statue of Liberty in July?
In July 23rd. And big party, Battery Park, Pier A, and gonna celebrate, and raising a lot of funds, a lot of awareness for Task Force Dagger.
How'd you come up with the idea, and why are you doing this?
I was hospitalized for about 3 months for traumatic brain injury, and during that time, everything relating to balance in my head, neck, ears, eyes is messed up. I've had surgeries, and when I got on a paddleboard for the first time 2 years ago, the world stood still for the first time. It was like the lights coming on in the dark room after being in the dark for about 10 years. So it was amazing. I wanted to do something epic to raise awareness. You got to get people's attention. And so that's why I'm out there chasing sharks, gators, storms, anything I can.
Any dolphins and nice, friendly animals?
I love to see them every morning. I know it's going to be a good day. Yeah.
How many miles would you wind up when you're all said and done?
Overall, I planned 3,500, but it'll probably be about 3,100 based on some of the bays getting cut short due to storms or that kind of thing.
Congratulations on it. Again, give us the website.
Thank you. It's veteranvoyage360.com. Same thing on Facebook, Veteran Voyage 360. Please follow me.
All right, we got some great pictures, too. It's an amazing journey. You're doing a great job. You must be incredibly proud of him. I know not only for his tremendous service, 20 years, but what he's doing now.
Yes, I'm very proud of him. Thank you.
His wife, Tanya. Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
Oftentimes, look at athletes and say, wow, that's impressive and that's admirable. That guy, I mean, how incredible is that?
Yeah, I feel like I need to do more with my days right now, because he's getting up paddling miles and miles and miles after serving 20 years. Special forces. That's very impressive. He's an impressive man.
Especially with all those traumatic injuries. And I loved what he said, the analogy. It's like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, he said it's like a pillow fight on a waterbed with 3 people.
Yeah.
In the dark.
Yeah.
That's. Wellington Castillo is up. Justin Nicolino here in the 6th. Castillo hits it high and deep right field. Stanton goes back, reaching for the wall, and he can't get it. It's gone. And Wellington Castillo drives it into Miami's bullpen. And the Diamondbacks have a 4-1 lead. Stanton got to the wall. You could see him reach, and that's the low wall. The height of that wall dropped this year.
Yeah, you know, Mattingly was trying to eke out a few more batters with Nicolino, and we mentioned tonight how he's been up in his own, and that ball definitely had that sound coming off the bat. You see Stanton getting there, and he just can't quite reach it. Ball's over him by a couple feet, looks like. Even though it doesn't look as high, it goes pretty far over him. He misses that by a couple feet.
So a 4-1 ball game here, and you're right, there's a better angle at it. Chris Owings at the plate, and Nicolino with the bullpen ready to go. Prado cuts off the ground ball and gets the out at first. So a 2-run homer. Wellington Castillo has hit 7 home runs already this year.
He's been a big power source for them, hitting in the middle of that lineup.
We've had a lot of reaction to your reference to the movie White Men Can't Jump. Fat Boys says word, and then just sent a picture of Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. Right field, this time Stanton going into the corner, long run there, and he reaches up and he makes the catch.
Nice play. That ball was almost by him. He pretty much reached behind him to make that play. You know, we talked about him playing shallow with Ahmed before. Ahmed hit another ball down in that corner that was almost home run distance. That one stays fair. Stanton's able to reach behind him, catch it in stride, protect himself against the wall, make a nice play for his pitcher.
And now try to catch his breath after two long runs. Corbin, first pitch swinging in the air. Ozuna's under it, and he makes the catch. But the Diamondbacks get 2 more. Wellington Casino, an opposite field 2-run homer. That Wellington Castillo 2-run homer has stretched Arizona's lead to 4-1. Look at the humanity. Preston Wilson, Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine, Jessica Blaylock, Rich Waltz with you tonight on an email and Twitter Tuesday. And Patrick Corbin right now is keeping the Marlins quiet. Christian Yelich makes a breaking ball in. A ball and a strike. Yelich, Giancarlo Stanton, Marcell Ozuna. Marlins open the ball game with a double, a single. Yelich scored a run on a fielder's choice, and that's it. Little tapper, diving, stop. Wow, Corbin. Talk about athlete. I know it's not a 360 dunk, but this is a pretty sweet play for a pitcher.
Yeah, and remember, his momentum is taking him towards third base after he releases the ball. So he's got to get turned back around and then lay out for that thing and then make an accurate throw from his belly to the first baseman. Look how quick he reacted on that ball, man. Can we say he slithered and threw the ball to first base just now?
No, you can. Here's Stanton, who's 0 for 2. The impressive thing is the transfer from, look at that. Wow. Back pivot.
Pivot into slither.
Yeah. Stanton takes a fastball in, and it's 2-0.
Again, working Stanton in early. He's got a definite game plan that he kept all night against Stanton. Get him conscious of inside and then try to work away later on.
Stanton hit a 104-mile-an-hour ground ball that bounced off the glove of Brandon Drury. Drury was given an error. Stanton 0 for 2. Miami has just the 4 hits. Oh, a 3-0 swing at a fastball.
I don't mind it.
Emails and tweets tonight. At Fox Marlins. It's driven by Ford. FoxMarlins@gmail.com. Stanton, another fastball and another rip, and it's fouled off. We had that question from, I believe it was Louis, wanting to know, was Ichiro the oldest to steal his 500th base? And the answer is yes, but not by much. End of the bat, foul ball. Ichiro, 42 years, 190 days when he got his 500th. 41 years, 351 days, so almost 42, was Paul Molitor back in 1998. Davey Lopes was 40, a little over 40 when he got his. Fastball is up, and the 5th oldest to get his 500th base is right there, number 25, Barry Bonds.
But I think there also has to be a caveat or an asterisk put with that. That Ichiro had, what, 9 years playing in a Japanese baseball league?
Yeah.
So overall, we got to check out the final numbers on it, see what he's got overall between Japanese baseball league and here. But I'm going to say it's probably around 700-ish.
You know, that's a great point. We are always adding his hits together. We haven't added his stolen bases together. That's why we have a baseball historian on staff. Marcell Ozuna now. Patrick Corbin making his 6th start. He's given up 7 homers this year. But as I pointed out, his numbers much better on the road than back in Arizona. Deep left field and gone, way gone. That would be number 8 on the year that Corbin has given up. Marcell Ozuna has homered in 3 consecutive games. And just like that, it's a 1-run game.
Corbin hasn't made many mistakes, and Ozuna didn't miss it. Oh my, he jumped all over this thing. See the fastball grip, got a 2-seam grip on that, and he absolutely barrels him up. Sweet spot up in the zone. Ozuna has some of the quickest hands on this team when he's right, and that ball is punished.
A guy that knows a thing or two about homers. So a walk to Stanton, a blast by Ozuna. And Chip Hale has seen enough. He is going to his bullpen to get a lefty. Corbin exits with the lead. Kendall Toyota called to the bullpen. Lead. He walked Giancarlo Stanton on a 3-2 pitch, and Marcell Ozuna blasts one out of here. A 3-game streak and a homer in all 3 of those games. Tomorrow, Marlins and Diamondbacks, and it's a Chevron Crazy 8 Wednesday as well. You fill up your car with Chevron Techron gasoline. Bring your receipt to the Marlins Park ticket office, and you can choose between 2 Lexus Legends level tickets or 1 home plate box ticket for just $28. Visit your local Chevron dealer today. Marlins Park tonight. The Diamondbacks and the Marlins. First of a 3-gamer. Diamondbacks came in here and swept the Fish last year. And it's Andrew Chafin who comes out of the pen. He has been terrific for this ball club. 11 of his last 12 appearances have been scoreless. Righties and lefties have struggled to hit against him. And he comes in clean, meaning there is nobody on base, 1 out, and Chris Johnson at the plate.
I love what I'm seeing from the Marlins offense. When they scored earlier, Arizona came back, didn't allow a shutdown inning by Nicolino, gave up the 2-run home run there to Castillo, and the Marlins come right back and respond with a 2-run homer of their own.
Breaking ball outside, and it's 2-0.
Chafin may have one of the best mustaches I've seen in a long time. That's a power stash right there.
Fastball zips away. And it's 3-0. Kettering, Ohio. 25-year-old out of Kent State. And that's outside. Chris Johnson has walked. And here comes Echeverria. So Chafin has put up the good numbers. As a runner at first, 1 out. Echeverria tonight has bounced to second twice. Miguel Rojas is on deck. He's 2 for 2. See Patrick Corbin, 5 1/3 innings, watching from the dugout. Santeria takes in, and a visit from Wellington Castillo now to Chafin. Chafin's 14th appearance. His ERA mid-2s, 2.61. That's just the 5th walk in 14 appearances. A reminder, this copyright telecast presented by the authority of the Marlins may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Council descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. That's in. It's 2-0. House tweets in. I missed the Maroney call to the bullpen. That's a blast from the past.
It is.
That's an old one. Who are you going to call? That's out. Well, Chafin marveled at his control and his effectiveness lately. He walked Johnson, and now he's 3-0. And he's going to bring the pitching coach of the Diamondbacks, Mike Butcher, out of the dugout.
He's definitely showing them something that they don't like. There have been 2 visits in 3 pitches right here. That's definitely a sign that something's going on with him mechanically that they see, that they need to get him straightened out with. Obviously, they recognize it. Sometimes a coach won't go out there if he can't tell what's wrong, but there's already somebody up and throwing, and he's all over the place right now.
Sweet kicks by the pitching coach, Mike Butcher. You see the Air Jordan, kind of the teal green. And
those were sick.
Look at that.
Give me some of those.
I mean, you went off on Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson in basketball. Now he trots out with those things.
No, I'm liking the pitching coach's swag right there with them, them turquoise Nikes he got on. Them J's.
3-0 pitch coming. Let's see if Chafin can dial it in. That's outside. You can hear the home plate umpire, Dana DeMuth. And mustache and all, Chafin has walked 2. And let's see if Chip Hale has the patience for another hitter. Rojas is up, and here comes the second-year skipper of the Diamondbacks. Marlins have plenty of left-handed bats. They can run out there if they want, although Rojas is 2 for 2 tonight. You've got Dietrich, obviously, Bohr, Ichiro. All of those are choices. Don Mattingly looking at his sheet. We'll find out when we get back. Kendall Toyota, who are you going to call to the bullpen? Well, this ball game has gotten a whole lot more interesting for Marlin fans. Marcell Ozuna homering in his 3rd straight game brings the Marlins within 1. Andrew Chafin replaced Patrick Corbin, and he walked Chris Johnson and Adeiny Echeverria. Hitchpenny announces Derek Dietrich's name. Dietrich will hit for Miguel Rojas, and he'll take on Jake Barrett's 9th appearance for the right-hander. And a local guy to Diamondback fans. High school at Mesa, Arizona. And Arizona State University, 3rd-round pick, 2012. And the Marlins, with just 1 out, have got maybe back-to-back pinch hitting possibilities here with Dietrich. And the pitcher spot is up next. So a nice job by Miguel Rojas. He goes 2 for 2, and here is Dietrich as the Marlins trying to push across more runs here in the bottom of the 6th.
This is a tough spot for a pitcher to come in because Dietrich likes to attack early, and Barrett knows that he's got to get ahead after the pitching staff walking the 2 previous batters before him. He's got to try to get ahead, but Dietrich will ambush him.
He did that on the first pitch leading off Saturday, homered in Milwaukee. Fastball, and he had a good one to hit and was just a bit late on it. Fouls it off.
But you could just sense it. It's one of those things that they both match up. The situation, they walk 2 guys, and you know Dietrich, he's a first pitch fastball hitter. Velocity got a little bit of the best of him right there. See him kind of on his heels a little bit. Didn't quite get to it, but that's the pitch that he wanted.
Johnson the runner at 2nd. Echeverria's at 1st. It's a called strike. Dietrich didn't like it. And Dana Demuth, wow, that's right on the black and right at the letters. That's almost an impossible pitch to hit.
Yeah, especially left-handers who have that loft in their swing. That's a really tough pitch to get to.
Dietrich, right field, deep down the line, and foul. Just foul. Off-speed pitch and a hanger, and he punished it. Watch it cross in front of the pole.
He almost had everybody in this place on their feet. Just a few feet. Foul.
All right, Barrett started with fastballs and then went breaking ball. What's he get here? Well, that's a heck of a play. Well, we've had 3 really nice plays there.
Are you kidding me? Look, there's a reason why major league players wear gloves. This guy just bare hands a liner into the seats.
I like the fact that he's sitting inside and protecting his son from the plate, and then he makes the play and hands him the ball. Wow, pretty sweet.
Yeah, you're super dad right there.
Still 0-2. Oh, fastball, and it got Dietrich in the elbow, and he's on his way down to 1st. Bags are loaded. Let's see where this hits.
Oh, look, just right off the edge of the hand or maybe off the knob. That's a close play. That's a close play.
That is close. Now, you cannot. Well, let's see. Here comes Chip Hale.
Okay.
He's saying it hit the bat, and they're going to review it. So this is really an interesting gray area because you can challenge a hit by pitch, but you can't challenge a foul tip.
That is very interesting.
Since it was called a hit by pitch, I mean, I guess that's what they're looking for. Was he hit by it or not? Now, here's the issue. If it hits any part of his hand, it's a hit by pitch.
Right.
So can you delineate whether it hit all knob or some hand and knob? That's what they're going to have to do.
Oh, it actually looked like it might have got in the palm a little bit. Might have caught the wrist of the palm right there. Yeah.
The meat of the palm is what you're saying.
Yeah, you can almost hear like a little snick and then the click of the bat. Tell you what, this is actually a good challenge because it's such a close call, such a big part of the ball game. I understand why Chip Hale challenges this call.
Without question, because, you know, Dietrich's behind in the count here.
Yes.
0-2, and
very close.
I don't know if we have a side look at it at all.
See if we can take a look at this from the side.
You can't tell anything really from there.
I think that front view would have slowed down as much as what showed that it could have skimmed off the hand first.
So what you're looking for is movement on the batting glove, right?
Yeah, any type of movement there in the meat of the hand. And it looks like it could have skimmed off the wrist right before. Yep, they got it skimming off the wrist.
No, they got the base.
Yeah, before it hit the ball.
You can hear Dana DeMuth say it. Confirm.
Yeah, you guys did a great job getting us a good view in the truck in there. But fans, if you see right at the wrist or the meat of the hand, I heard see it move a little bit.
You could hear Dana DeMuth tell Chip Hale it hit the hand before it hit the knob. So Arizona loses their challenge. The Marlins have the bags loaded, and here is Ichiro.
Look, the way this game has gone, Corbin seemed to have been in control. Ozuna steps in with a big 2-run homer, finally gets a pitch up, drives it out. You bring in relievers, you get 2 base on balls and 1 hit by pitch. Now you got bases loaded.
All right. There's 1 out. Barrett will face Ichiro. One of the things that Ichiro is susceptible to is a ground ball up the middle, which would be fatal to this inning for the Marlins. So we'll see if Ichiro adjusts that swing, tries to drive a ball into the outfield.
Well, I think the trade-off here is if you're thinking about either Justin Bour or Ichiro is probably going to make more contact. Justin Bour is going to drive the ball more. And I think Mattingly's betting on the contact, and Ichiro's had some good at-bats lately.
So here's Ichiro, and a fastball misses out.
As well as he has a better eye. You got guys who've been around the strike zone. Ichiro very rarely has the spells where he chases a lot of pitches.
On Ichiro T-shirt night in Miami.
Oh, he's got to get a knockdown. It's written.
Bags loaded, 1 out, 1-run game. It's out, and it's 2-0. Well, Andrew Chafin walked Chris Johnson and Echeverria. Barrett got in front of Dietrich and then hit him in the hand. Infield up the middle, back for 2. Corners are even. 2-0 pitch to Ichiro. Ichiro, line drive, base hit. Johnson scores. Echeverria will score. 42 and still going strong.
Rich, I hate to say I called it, but I called it. It's Ichiro T-shirt day. He's got to get a knock on Ichiro day. Razor up the middle, left that ball over the plate, and Ichiro made him pay like he's been making everybody pay for years. That's just nice right there. Lines him up, head right down on it, line drive over the shortstop. Do it, Ichiro.
Echeverria read it. Got a great jump. Hit number 2,956. provides Miami with a 5-4 lead, and it's the top of the order. Realmuto. Fastball up. JT Realmuto doubled in the first. In the leadoff spot, possibly for the first time in his life. A catcher leading off for the Marlins for the very first time in Miami's history. Dietrich the runner at second, Ichiro at first. He got good speed out there. 2-run single by Ichiro. Marlins trying to do some damage against Arizona's bullpen. And Realmuto chases a slider. Kyle Bearclaw looks like he's getting ready for the 7th. Everybody's rested. The bullpen is set up nicely. But a few more runs against a Diamondback team that has swung the bats well tonight. One and two. Realmuto into the bat, little pop, shallow left, and it's caught there. And so 2 are out, and here comes Martin Prado. Prado 1 for 3 tonight. Miami has just 2 hits in this inning, but the 2 hits have provided 4 runs. Ozuna's 2-run homer, Ichiro's 2-run pinch hit single. Corbin and then Chafin and now Barrett all here in the 6th. Prado, I love the sound effects. Anything close.
It doesn't even have to be close. If he can see it good enough, like up around the letters. Yeah, you can see Prado's bottom half pull out right there on that slider.
One and two. 2 down. Dietrich at second. Ichiro a big lead at first. 1-2 coming. Breaking ball chopped to short. Big hop for Ahmed, who gets the out. But the Marlins rally. A big fly by Marcell Ozuna and a key single by Ichiro. 3 consecutive games with a homer for Ozuna. Brought the Fish within 1. And then Ichiro knocked in 2. It's 5-4.
taking the lead on a Twitter and email Tuesday driven by Ford, and I'm joined by one of the newest members of the Twitterverse. That would be Jeff Conine. Now, Conine, Allison Williams started the campaign years ago to get you on Twitter. I promised her that I would continue it. What made you decide to finally join Twitter?
You were relentless. You would not leave me alone until I finally did it. Well, you saw me in spring training, and so it was kind of a combination of you badgering me and me wanting to follow my son Griffin and his Duke baseball team, and they do a majority of their stuff on Twitter. So you helped me come up with my nickname, yes. Right? Yes. Which is what?
Just in case, Niner.
Just in case, JIC Niner, just in case.
Just in case you wanted to follow Twitter. Now, are you hooked? Are you tweeting all the time? Do you understand retweets and likes?
No, I'm a serious rookie. Tonight, I'm hoping to get a lot more followers because of you and all the people out there. And talk me through it, you know. Talk me through how to retweet. Retweet. You know, I'm still a rookie, so I need to get into this.
Okay, another thing that we love about Twitter, people are able to ask questions. And we got one from Nicholas, who wants to know if any other player has ever had a Jack in the Box, or I guess it would have been a Jeff in the Box promotional night.
Never. It was the ultimate giveaway. It's the best giveaway in the history of the Marlins, if you don't mind me saying. But of course, Jack McKeon had one as well, and that actually was a Jack in the Box, but mine was a Jeff in the Box.
Your bobblehead giveaway is also coming up this Saturday. So you had a Jeff in the Box, you've got bobbleheads, you're hanging out in the suite during the game. It must be nice to be Jeff Conine.
I'm telling you, I probably have the best job in all of baseball. And I say that right on my Twitter thing. I say I have the best job in baseball. I really do.
All right, give everyone your Twitter handle one more time. It's called a handle. Give everyone your Twitter handle. Okay.
Is that a hashtag or is it just a handle thing?
No, it's not a hashtag. It's your username.
Oh, username. Okay. JIC, the number 9, and then ER. Just in case Niner.
All right, so
that Twitter or anything, or that's it?
No, that's okay. It. All right, everyone go give Jeff Conine a follow on Twitter.
He has 585 followers.
You're up to 585. Wow, thanks for that, Rich, because he started out at 432.
Well, Preston and I just followed. So.
Yeah, we're in there.
We got to get Niner up to 1,000, so follow along. JIC Niner. Derek Dietrich finds himself at second base. Kyle Bearclaw finds himself on the mound. And with a full count on Phil Goslin, top of the order for the Diamondbacks in the 7th. And Goslin putting up a fight here, fouling off a lot of good fastballs. 98 miles an hour with that one. Wellington Castillo with a 2-run homer. Oh, breaking ball got him. Goslin couldn't pull the trigger. Thought it might have been in. Dana DeMuth and he had a quick discussion. But a strikeout for Bearclaw. Let's take a look. Pitch 8. That's close. And Bearclaw might have gotten a break. But in a good spot. Brandon Drury and Paul Goldschmidt now. That pitch misses in. Drury is 1 for 3. You would expect David Peralta to get an at bat here, as the Marlins are right-handed. If everything stays the same in the bullpen. Oh my goodness. It's a sight that will send shivers up the spine of Marlin fans. Tyler Clippard is in the Arizona bullpen. Drury going after that low fastball.
Did we really have to show him before he came in the game? Like, can we not just let him get in the game and just get it all out at once instead of knowing that he's out there lurking?
There's the career numbers: 56 games, 1.59 ERA. Up the middle, that's a hot smash into center field. Drury has his second hit. And now the Thunder, Paul Goldschmidt. Phillies are here. How about the Phillies? Friday night, Nurses Appreciation Night. Who doesn't appreciate nurses? Pick up the new Budweiser burger and beer package for just $25. Get a bullpen reserve ticket, specialty burger, and a 16-ounce beer. Enjoy free fireworks after the game, marlins.com. Nurses Appreciation Night. I think that'll be better attended than Lawyer Appreciation Night. Which I think has already happened, right?
Yeah, that's a night a lot of people.
My father was a lawyer.
You
too.
don't appreciate it until you need one.
And I
That's
was
what it is.
I was pre-law too, so I kid because I love you. Goldschmidt's up. Drury at first, 1 out. Bear claw. And his slider misses up. Jeff Conine has jumped to 785 followers. Way to go, kids.
Jeez, wasn't he just at 500, 580 something?
Yep.
Good gracious, Niner.
Power of email and Twitter Tuesday. And a strike. Mr. Dimples wants to know, where are the microphones that are so sensitive enough to pick up the batter's grunts and the umpire's chatter? Parabolic microphones shaped like a mini radar dish or a satellite dish. You've got like a DirecTV dish, and we've got them right there hidden next to the fish behind Ricky Weeks.
Sometimes in the playoffs, aren't there microphones under the bases?
Yes. Allowed to do that for national games only. Pitch is in. It's 3-2.
Just a little bit in. Close pitch.
Slowly hit. Tough play. Safe.
Oh, it looked like he almost was getting ready to punch him, and then he changed it.
Yeah, and I think he was safe. Marlins are going to look at the video. Goldschmidt can run. We talked about his stolen bases earlier in the ball game. That's why once it left the bat, Prado not only had to do everything right, he had to figure out a way to get it there faster than he could throw it.
Oh, he double clutched on him. Yeah, good try by Prado. That's a guy that runs really well. Yeah, he was way past the base. He's definitely safe there. But Greg Gibson, my old buddy down there, he was getting ready to ring him up and then thought about it at the last second, double clutched and then changed his mind.
Now, old buddy, is there past history there?
Yeah, Gibby threw me out of a game once. I think I've only gotten thrown out of 2 games in my baseball career, and he threw me out of one of them. And the call was so bad that I didn't even have to pay the fine.
Really?
Yeah, that's how bad the call was. Major League Baseball looked at it and they were like, you know what? Don't even worry about the fine. Like, we get it. It happens like that every now and then.
Well, as we expected, David Peralta makes an appearance here. So Peralta will hit for Weeks.
It's funny you picked up on that, Rich.
Intuition. Peralta up the middle. Dietrich backhands, flips, edge turn. Safe. Oh, close turn. Really close. Terrific play by Dietrich and by Echeverria, but Peralta from the left side of the plate was off and running, and it looked like he just beat it as well.
Oh, that's a really good play. Dietrich does a good job giving Echeverria a good flip. That's a close play, but I think he may have beat it as well. Like you said, Peralta runs really well, especially getting out of there in my left side box. Man, that's close. Yep. Oh, maybe he missed the bag. He stepped in front of the bag. I don't know. We got to take a look at that.
Well, you're going to need maybe another angle to see if he actually caught the bag or not.
Well, he looked like he dragged it on the way coming across.
And remember, watch the slide. There's Goldschmidt.
Oh, he's way out there, too.
You know what? That's a baseball slide, though.
I believe that's a baseball slide. The problem is you know what?
Toe just got it.
Got the toe right on it.
The toe just got it. The slide's close. It's borderline. In my book, it's a clean play.
I hate the fact that we even got to talk about that slide. That's a great baseball slide, and we're actually arguing that now.
I'm not arguing. I'm just bringing it up, but I agree with you. That means Barraclough is going to have to make some good pitches here to a good hitter, Yasmani Tomas. Nice play by Dietrich, who came in the ball game after he pinch hit. So the Marlins have come oh so close to getting 2 outs at first. And Barraclough to Tomas, who can't check his swing. It's 0-1.
Well, out of Tomas and Castillo, Castillo's had the better at-bats. He's got 2 hits with the home run tonight. Tomas has walked once with a base hit.
Good fastball, 96.
Oh, 96 and up.
And importantly, up and somewhat in against a guy that likes to drive those pitches the outside part of the plate to right center.
And Tomas is one of those right-handed hitters that's a better low ball hitter than he does hit the ball up in the zone. Most righties like the ball up. Tomas likes the ball down in the zone because he has that loft in his swing like a lefty does.
Where does this 0-2 pitch go?
I'd throw a slider right here. Oh, he went up with the fastball. See, my inclination was to do that backwards since you just showed him the fastball up, change his eye levels, throw the slider down, and then go back up with the fastball. Since you got so many pitches to play with, I would play that up-down eye level change with the batter. I hated it when guys did it to me.
Remember, if you waste a slider, the tying run is 90 feet away at third base. Brandon Drury. Goldschmidt's at first, or excuse me, Peralta's at first. 1-2. Got him with a slider. Kyle Barraclough strikes out Yasmani Tomas.
Nice slider.
A bit of turbulence, but no runs in the 7th. 5-4 Miami. Stretch. Not last call. That party goes all the way beyond the end of game. We're at the bottom of the 7th in a wildly entertaining game so far. Yasmani Tomas makes his way back out to left field. Remember, David Peralta came in, and Peralta patrols right field. Tomas was in right. And Tyler Clippard, who is co-captain of the all fish killer team, in a Diamondbacks uniform. He just doesn't look right, does it? Clippard, of course, long time with the Nationals. That's where he was Miami's nemesis. And then last year with the Mets, after starting the year with Oakland. Durable and effective as usual last year. 69 appearances, an ERA of under 3. He of the breaking balls and dynamite changeup.
There's a few guys in this game that have that Bugs Bunny changeup. You remember that old cartoon where a guy swings at it 3 times before it gets to the plate? Tyler Clippard has one of those changeups.
Yelich pulls a fastball. A ball and a strike. Yelich is 0 for 3. Clippard signed a 2-year, $17 million contract. And you know what? If he pitches the way he's pitched, he'll be worth it. Change up, Yelich drills it right field and deep and gone. Upper tank, solo shot. 6-4 Fish.
Different uniform, different result. Same pitch. You're going to get a look at it. You're going to see to get a grip of the circle change. Comes out there, look at the rotation, and then watch him hold up, just pause just a little bit, and then explode. Look at that. Foot hits, a little pause. Oh, full extension. I tell you, Coach, when Yelich gets one, he shows tremendous power.
That ball hit off the facing of the second deck. Yelich is second. Stanton fouls one back. He doesn't break into too many trots that early, but he knew it.
I like the fact that Clippard didn't even look back. He just asked for another baseball. Off the fly, Avianca sign out there. That's big man territory.
That is, and you know what? That sign is above the part of the park that's marked at 392. That's recessed behind, and that's another, what, 35 feet up?
I give that another 30, yeah.
All right, so if you're scoring with this at home, and there's the dent, I'm going to go out on the limb and say 430 on that home run, maybe 440. Stanton swings and misses, and he strikes out. Next to the F.
Oh. You see that little dim spot in the middle there right next to the F? That's where it went, yeah.
Clippard reverts to his old self and strikes out Stanton. And here is Ozuna, whose 2-run homer started the comeback in the 6th inning.
That second run means a lot to your bullpen, though. You don't have to be as perfect. And this is the guy that got it started on the long ball. Ozuna gets that foot down early, explodes through the baseball, and drives one deep above the Clevelander. Grande Oso.
Breaking ball from Clippard. And it's 0-2. So 6-4. That home run by Ozuna was against the starter Patrick Corbin, who looked untouchable after giving up a run in the first. Hey, Clippard looks as nasty as he always does, doesn't he?
He does now.
After giving up the homer to Yelich, he punches out Stanton and Ozuna. May is National Mental Health Awareness Month, and in honor of that, Fox Supports is proud to team up with the National Alliance on Mental Illness and their commitment to improving the lives of families affected by mental health conditions. Learn more about how to be stigma-free and visit foxsportsupports.com. Chris Johnson. Fastball strike.
Clippard is almost a guy where once you swing at his fastball, you almost just sit and look for the changeup. And it's hard to do because everybody wants to hit the fastball, but his changeup is so good. You may have to sometimes hit off of his changeup.
Well, he's thrown 2 fastballs. Yelich hit the changeup, and he hit it about 440 feet.
Because I was always a hit off the fastball guy, but guys like Trevor Hoffman, guys like that, sometimes you had to switch it up.
Yep. It's just, he said, you're thinking about that changeup. Here's 3 fastballs. Christian Yelich was thinking about a changeup, and he got it, and he blasted it. Miami's lead is 2 to the 8th. Four runs, 9 hits for the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks Marlins tomorrow. Ruby De La Rosa, Jose Fernandez. We've got it for you here on Fox Sports Florida. 6:30 for Marlins Live. Rich Waltz, Preston Wilson will be with you tomorrow night. David Phelps comes back off that road trip with a solid hold on the 8th inning roll. So much so that the Marlins used him to close the game on the road trip. He picked up his 2nd career save. And the Diamondbacks with the road grays or pewter, as some have suggested tonight. We'll get a look at Phelps. Wellington Castillo banged one out of here, a 2-run homer in the 6th. Chris Owings and Nick Ahmed. And then you got the pitcher spot for Arizona.
Got a little exit velocity for you on that Yelich home run. 110 miles per hour off the bat.
Any distance yet on the home run?
I think they gave it about 443. Let me check. 437.
Popped up. First base line, Johnson, and it's into the seats. Ball and a strike. But what the heck has gotten into Wellington Castillo, by the way? I mean, here he is. He's hit 7 homers. His slugging percentage is close to 600. And remember, last year with the Cubs, he hit 163. With Seattle, he hit $160. He had 2 homers combined there. He goes to Arizona and hits 17 bombs and slugs 500. And now this year, he's taken it almost to a higher level. He's 28. Longtime Cub, never really, but he sort of had the starting job in 13 and 14. Played 113 games, 110 games, 380 at bats in each year.
think you said the key thing. He's 28.
And he can't check his swing. And so Phelps comes in and he gets a strikeout, the first hitter he faces. Greater coverage of baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. Pitchers of the month. Well, you just should rename the award the Jake Arrieta Award. And Jordan Zimmerman, Tyler Clippard's old buddy from the Nationals.
Yeah, Jordan Zimmerman's out of league, and the Marlins still caught him at the beginning of the season.
Owings now walked, knocked in a run with a fielder's choice to right field, of all places. Phelps looks strong. A couple days off. He did not throw on Sunday. Elevates a fastball and strikes out Owings.
95 miles per hour.
And that's what you find with a guy who has been a starter and a middle reliever. You condense him into a one-inning guy, and all of a sudden the velocity goes up a couple ticks because he's got nothing to save it for.
But he'll even play with the batters a little bit. We talked about early in the game, Nicolino, when he's good, being able to add and subtract. Phelps will also add a little bit on that fastball. He'll start a hitter off around 91, 92. Then all of a sudden you'll see a 95 pop up there, 96 occasionally.
Here's Ahmed. I asked Don Mattingly about Phelps in that 8th inning, and his eyes lit up. He said, I really like his makeup. I like his attitude. I like his stuff.
There's very few guys that play baseball and pitch that can pitch right away in those late innings. A lot of guys have to have gone through that fire, to have been through those battle-tested situations where they have that mental stability to be able to pitch late in the game. I think Phelps is there now.
Breaking ball, and it's 1-2.
A long time ago, guys didn't come up through the minor leagues as setup guys or as closers. Now, you got guys in the minor leagues getting drafted as a closer. And that never happened before. Usually your starter that didn't have that third pitch, that it was really nasty, was your 8th or 9th inning guy.
Missed away, and it's 2-2. Got him! How about that? 8th inning, no problem. David Phelps strikes out the side. along with camera 12, Rich Waltz, Preston Wilson, Jessica Blaylock, Craig Minervini, Jeff Conine, John Sulzer, our producer, Christian Roberts, our director, Enrique Burgos into the ball game. And this right-hander gets the Marlins in the 8th. Danny Echeverria, Derek Dietrich, and then the pitcher spot. Ford drives Twitter Tuesday. You can email us as well, foxmarlins@gmail.com. @FoxMarlins is the handle. And of course, the Jeff Conine pledge drive. Little flare, right field. Peralta can't get it. And Echeverria's got a hit. Leadoff single against Burgos here in the 8th.
Just gets under the glove. We call that a salvage knock. When you get down to the last at bat of the game and you don't have a hit yet, and you pick up one, you salvage the night by picking yourself up a knock.
I don't know if this will help Jeff Conine's Twitter followers, but Alberto says, hey, Preston, go get a number 19 at Langer's Deli for lunch tomorrow.
I'd have to do that.
There's how to find Jeff Conine, who is now on Twitter.
What if I can go? Do I ask for a 9er, or is it just a number 19?
Number 19.
Okay.
Or I think Mr. Marlin.
Oh, Mr. Marlin. Okay.
Dietrich, key at bat in the 6th. Shortens to bunt, takes outside on a fastball in. He was behind in the count 0-2, and in a great battle with Jake Barrett. The Marlins at the time were down a run. They had runners first and second, and Dietrich took a fastball off the left hand and the knob of the bat at about the same time. It was challenged by the Diamondbacks. It was called a hit by pitch, and then confirmed in New York. New York confirming that it hit the hand before it hit the knob of the bat. And A.J. Ramos getting ready for the 9th. Echeverria at first. Burgos, the 1-1. You expect to see Dietrich back in the leadoff spot tomorrow night with a right-hander, Ruby De La Rosa. I see you. Yeah, it's Ichiro T-shirt night tonight, and he had an enormous hit, a 2-run single, pinch hit in the 6th. Echeverria back in at first.
It's a long arm motion on that pickoff throw. You got to wonder if he's got one of those dart throwers, little short arm motions. But that was a long arm motion on that pickoff throw. He's a guy people are going to run on if that's the best he can do.
Breaking ball came back and caught the plate. And it's 2-2. Diamondbacks will have pitcher spot, then top of the order, Goslin and Drury. And if anybody reaches 2 big bats, Goldschmidt and Peralta, and another one behind him in Tomas. So it won't be an easy climb for A.J. Ramos. All right, full count. Dietrich's up. Do you send Echeverria here? Etch is not an accomplished base stealer, but it would keep you out of a double play.
You know what? I like sending Etch right here. Dietrich's been swinging the bat pretty well. It's a right-handed pitcher. Handles him a little better. Say why not?
Okay.
Let him go.
Infield is shifted around. He's running. And Dietrich fouls it at the plate. Alyssa wants to know, is the home run thing broken? The sculpture, so to speak. She does not see the fish moving on home runs.
It's a good question. We might have to inquire the staff around the stadium around that. Because usually when a home run's hit, you see the Marlin go around, you see the lights going up on the sculpture up there. Got to check in on that.
Running again, it's out. Dietrich walks.
Base on balls has been a bugaboo for the Arizona Diamondbacks relievers tonight, especially. Yeah, I said bugaboo in honor of Beyonce having her concert here. That was one of her early songs, Bugaboo.
Now, did you go to the show?
I did not.
What was it, Friday night? When was it?
I think, yeah, I think it was on the 29th or something like that. Yeah. No, I did not.
Justin Bour will pinch hit. And he comes up in a great spot. Nobody out, 2 men on. And the infield, who usually shifts against Bour with this combination of base runners, it's not really shifted as much. And Burgos misses way out. And a visit coming from Wellington Castillo. Well, one of the differences in tonight's ball game has been the bullpens. Kyle Barraclough and David Phelps have combined for 2 scoreless. Not so fortunate are the Diamondbacks. Their bullpen's given up 3 runs. Bour takes a strike. Enrique Burgos. Off speed, misses away.
I'd like to see the big fella here get in and shoot one in the gap, extend that lead a little bit.
Burgos, a big Panamanian, 6'4", 250. Catches the corner, it's 2-2.
That's a tough pitch, backdoor breaking ball for a guy who's struggling, and then he paints one down and away on the corner with a breaking ball. Got to tip your hat right there.
It's out. 3-2.
Tried it again, tried to get the backdoor breaking ball. Didn't quite come back that time.
Real Muto on deck. Echeverria the runner at second. Dietrich at first. Full count coming to Bour. That's out. Bags loaded. No one's throwing in Arizona's bullpen. That probably will change now. Mike Butcher with his sweet shoes is coming back.
Yeah, those kicks are sick.
How about that?
I'm jello right now. Got some custom J's on.
Well, at the open of the show, we talked about not necessarily custom Jordans. Those are pretty sweet, especially with the green piping. That's a really progressive look. We talked about JT Real Muto, the first catcher in Marlins history to hit in the leadoff spot. The Marlins mixing and matching in the absence of D. Gordon. His suspension, 80 games, violating Major League Baseball's drug policy. Real Muto opened with a double. His only hit of the night. He's 1 for 4. There's nobody out. The bags are loaded. Burgos. Breaking ball's out.
Might be the first coach ever. I'm a little bit jello of his sneaker game.
Popped up, and that's going to get out of play. The Marlins have walked 5 times, and that has come since the 6th inning. Patrick Corbin walked just 1, and that was in the 6th. And Corbin looked good after the Marlins got that initial run. But that walk to Stanton opened the door with 1 out. And a 4-1 lead disappeared quickly. Infield's in. Real Muto left field. That ball's deep. Back goes Tomas. And he has room and makes the catch. Tagging at third and scoring is Echeverria. And Miami has added on, and Real Muto almost had a grand slam.
He has just missed 2 tonight, and in other ballparks, he probably have 2 tonight. This ball is well struck. Gets him a ball up in the strike zone. Breaking ball that doesn't quite get down. See that belt high, and he drives it to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark out there in left center. You know, he's going maybe, oh, do I almost get it? Hangs up just shy of the wall, but that's a great at bat. I see it time and time again. When you got man on third, less than 2 outs, easiest pitch to hit in the air is a breaking ball or a fastball away. He picked on a breaking ball, got himself a fly ball, got the job done.
Importantly, Derek Dietrich tagged from second and got to third. Here's Prado, bores at first, and a fastball for a strike. So Real Muto drives in a run. The lead is 7-4. Enrique Burgos. The Marlins have done a couple things here. Obviously, they've taken the lead 7-4, but they've extended Arizona's bullpen to start the series.
That's always a good thing. Team had gone on a 20-game-in-a-row stretch without having a day off. They get a day off yesterday, and then the very next day you stretch out their bullpen. That's going to pay dividends later on in the series.
1-1 is inside.
I'm a little disappointed Prado didn't yell just now.
That's a good point. He usually lets out a yelp just as it's coming in. Burgos, the 4th to work out of the pen in support of Patrick Corbin. Infield back for a double play ball. Prado in the air, not too deep. Owings and Peralta. Owings tagging is Dietrich. He's coming home. Throw comes home, and he is out. It's a double play. The throw goes behind to tag Bohr out. That would be the 4th out if he were out. The Marlins are going to look at the video right now to see if the call at the plate.
Looking at this with the naked eye, the front foot looked like it may have had a chance to get in there. I don't know. Oh, it beats him just before it gets down.
Good call. Dana DeMuth right on top of it. Nice play by Wellington Castillo to get to the corner of the plate and apply the tag. So it's a double play to end the bottom of the 8th.
I like the aggressiveness by Lenny Harris going right there, simply because if the throw is anywhere offline, you get yourself a run. I don't like seeing Justin Bohr go running down in the tunnel right there. I don't know if maybe he injured himself or something diving back in, but something didn't look right with the way he was holding his left shoulder, his left arm. Yeah. Sometimes when a guy dives back in like that, you see how you can jam that shoulder and your body weight kind of rolls up on it, and it just does not feel good.
All right, we'll check on that. Miami's up 7-4 to the 9th. Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jeep, visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by your South Florida Honda dealers. In Miami, 7-4, Marlins on top. Here's a look at Justin Bour diving in at second base.
When you land on that base on the fly, I don't know if it's a side or the shoulder, but whenever you hold that arm there, I don't like it, because when you land on the base and all your weight is up in the air, your shoulder tends to take all of that. So I'm hoping that it's not a shoulder.
Jake Lamb will pinch hit for the Diamondbacks. And A.J. Ramos, who's been off since Friday. Remember, David Phelps closed on Saturday. Ramos had closed 5 games in 6 days after Friday night. He gets a strike on Lamb. So a well-earned off day yesterday combined with 2 off days. And we'll see if AJ's got some gas back in the tank. Lamb, Goslin, Drury. And Ramos with a changeup for a strike, 2-2. Marlins Live. We will have full coverage, interviews on the field. We'll have Don Mattingly, and we'll try to get you an update on Justin Bour as well. 2 nasty changeups and a strikeout from Ramos.
Yeah, that's a pitch he's definitely gotten a feel for coming into this season. He's confident with it. He feels like he has the same arm speed. You see the grip, you see the rotation. That's going to make the ball dive down and away a little bit from the lefty. He induces the strikeout.
Marlin relievers have struck out 5 consecutive hitters. Barraclough punched out Tomas to finish the 7th. Phelps struck out the side in the 8th. And here is Goslin, who takes outside. He is 0 for 4. Goslin, the former Brave. Gene Seguro's had such a good start, has a sore hip, and has missed now a couple of games. Not in the lineup tonight, which shortens an already short bench. Diamondbacks carry just 4 on their bench, 8 in their bullpen. Guys are saddling in. Jeff Conine, his pocket a lot heavier with all those followers to his Twitter account. In the air, Johnson calls. Whoa! Nice adjustment, and it's a routine pop out to the first baseman in the books.
Got to give some love to the bullpen tonight. What a great job. 6 strikeouts, 2 2/3 so far, and they have been a big factor in a lot of these wins lately for the Marlins. We spoke about the fact that this is not the same bullpen they started the season with, and we're hoping for different results this homestand, and we're seeing it so far.
Now Drury, who is 2 for 4, one of the hottest hitters the Diamondbacks have. Liner to right, Stanton there, ball game. Miami wins it, a roaring comeback. Down 4-1. The Fish score 6 unanswered and beat Arizona to open this series. And now the Marlins have won 8 of their last 9. A great way to start the series and the homestand for the Fish. Marlins Live is coming up.